Big up, everyone. How are we doing today? Welcome to another installment of the Casually Chelsea Show. I'm your host, Marshall EBDX, Casually FC, whatever you want to call it. I'm here with the panel. Big up to every single one of you. It's been quite a bit since we've done a Casually FC or Casually Chelsea show. So, figured since we got a Sunday off and, you know, we could kind of leave the results behind us from yesterday. We got another game coming up on Tuesday. Might as well get the news in while we can in this little short span of time, as you know, the games are coming thick and fast. But big up to every single one of you in the chat. Hopefully you are enjoying your Sunday so far. Be sure to smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and also be sure to check out the memberships. There's 4 different tiers starting at 99p. Hype up the video if you do have some hype points, and then check out the links in the description below. I wanted to start off really quickly on a little bit of a side little tangent here. And I wanted to show off something here. So I remember we talked about the whole ice sculpture thing of Cole Palmer that was going to happen for the UCL game for Barcelona, in which he wasn't available for, so we thought it'd be pointless. But Chelsea decided to actually go through with it, and this is actually what it looked like. I think it's kind of silly. I thought it would be a little bit more detailed, but yeah, it's real. The ice sculpture, it did happen. So this is Cole Palmer's Topps card in a block of ice because he's Cold Palmer. Get it? So yeah, it's real. It was there on full display. Yeah, it's silly. It's a little silly addition, but hey, you gotta do some fun things around the stadium from time to time for the tourists and all the other fans who aren't, you know, there all the time. But yeah, I figured I'd showcase that for you guys in the chat as well as for the panel. But let's go ahead and actually get into the thick of it with some of the news that's been coming out. Obviously today we're going to be talking about obviously referring to Lavia. Now we don't know when he's going to come back. Enzo Maresca's come out and said that. We'll show you the tweets. Delap also potentially being out for 6 to 8 weeks. We have news on that, as well as probably going to have a discussion around Nicholas Jackson and the complete updates on Nicholas Jackson and his loan and his situation, right? But also, it seems, it's funny, right, guys, that like the what's the word I'm looking for? The rewriting of history around Nicholas Jackson and how many people are begging essentially for him to return. It's really funny. So we'll get into all that. But before we do, let's get into this first story, which is a little bit of an update on the Bomb Squad. So it's a quick update. It's short, sweet. Enzo Maresca, thank you very much. Maresca on the Bomb Squad. Axel and Raheem are Chelsea players. Axel is helping the second team and young players. During the international break, we had just 5 to 6 players here, and Axel was part of some sessions. It was just one session with us. At the moment, he is helping the second team and helping them. That's it. No reintegration into the team, none of that. And
I don't know if you've seen Marshall, but to say that he's helping them is a massive over-exaggeration.
Yeah,
he got cooked by PSG under 21s.
Yeah, I saw that. So yeah, Axel Disasi recently just got cooked too. Actually, let me see if I can find that real quick, because I know some people were saying, oh, bring back Disasi, like our defense is so bad, all this and that. And then I saw this clip and I'm like, yeah, no, we ain't bringing back Disasi, bro. This guy just got cooked by like a under 18-year-old. I think it's this clip right here. Yeah, it's
this is the one.
Brother, that's not good. That's not good, brother. That's really not good, brother.
40 million British pounds.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, you ain't paying yourself. To be fair, I mean, there's no really being fair. It's a counterattack. Errors are going to happen in this situation, but regardless, like, yo, you're a senior player. You got to do better than this. Like, You got
that just happens to him anywhere he plays. Whether he's at centre back, whether he's at right back, he gets cooked like that all the time. He gets caught flat-footed, and then that happens.
Yeah, so it's one of those. Yeah, he ain't the answer either, people. I'll tell you that. So no surprises there. People thought maybe Axel comes back into the team. He was training. This was happening during international break, so I figured let's get that out of the way. Get a little update. Axel Disasi has no future at Chelsea, just like Raheem Sterling, and that's where it stays. And Maresca's made that very clear. Okay, moving on to the next topic that I wanted to bring up is a little bit of an update towards the purchase of Santos eventually. So it looks like it's a very, very real interest that Blueco have to obtaining parts or shares of Santos. So the latest that we have here is that Santos FC management are studying the possibility of becoming a SAF, football joint stock company, and would sell 90% of the club. Interested parties are Chelsea, so Blueco, Qatar, so the owner of PSG, so that would be Sheikh Mansour. And no, not Sheikh Mansour. I'm sorry. Who's the owner of PSG?
Oh God, why can't I remember?
Nasser Al Khalifi.
Al Khalifi,
Yeah. So Al Khalifi, and then Neymar Junior Sports and other two. So Neymar actually just came back and saved them from relegation because they have been in the relegation zone. Santos has been, and Neymar came back, played with a torn ACL, and actually, managed to get a man of the match in both the matches he played before he came off before he had to nurse the injury, and saved them from relegation. I don't know how many seasons are left in the Brazilian league, but they were in there. So Santos is definitely going to be a club to look at, considering the history it has, the attraction that it has because of the legacy it's had in its history, in its past, and obviously it's not as good of a club as it once was, but that's probably why they're doing this, to inject money into Santos to try to get them up the ranks again to a respectable position in Brazilian football. Because right now, it's just a legacy and historical club, and they're struggling, man. They're struggling. And Neymar, even though he's back at that club, he's been struggling to stay fit. So he hasn't been much of an impact for Santos. But any thoughts on this, guys? Or should we just move on to the next topic?
So I hope it gets done.
Yeah, I'm just going to wait and see what happens, like if it gets done, when it gets done.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I think this would be beneficial to the club. There are people who are kind of against it simply because they feel that it's not necessary. It's not going to benefit the club, but I think it will be very beneficial to the club. If you take a Santos and invest in it and invest in the academy and grow from there, you have organic growth from within Blueco to pick talent from, instead of having to find talent elsewhere like Indefinitely and so on and so forth. So there's that perk to it. So we'll see what happens with this. I think it's a good opportunity for us to really invest in the Americas for talent, not just Brazil and parts of Argentina and all that, or Indefinitely and all that. So we go from there. Let's move on to the next topic I have for you guys, which is Malagusto. Malagusto has played 100 games for Chelsea. Here he is getting his 100 game badge, or 100 game celebratory kit. And at just 22 years old, Malagusto has played. That's actually kind of wow. 22 has already played 100 games for Chelsea. How old was Mason when he freaking played 100 games for Chelsea?
Probably around the same.
Probably around the same.
Maybe about a year less.
100 games is a lot. I'm not going to lie, considering the regular season, just the Premier League, is 38 games. You got to play, I would think most athletes, before the congested fixture schedule and all that stuff, I feel like it would take at least 5 seasons to hit this number. Malagusto's already hit it in 3. Not even 2.5. if we think about it, because he came in during the Poch season, played that season. He was fit for all of it, for most of it. Then was pretty crucial for Maresca's system. And now, 2.5 seasons, he already played 100 games for Chelsea. That's wild. That is wild to me. Caicedo also got this. Who else also got this medal? Obviously, Reece already had his. I think Enzo was one of the ones that also got it as well. Trying to adjust this thing. I don't know, this new setting on StreamYard where they put timers on these things. Malagusto joins the 100 club along with Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, Cucurella, Reece James, and all of them. So big up to Malagusto. He's been playing better as of recently, I would say. Hopefully he keeps up with that form. Any thoughts on Malagusto's 100 besides the typical Cucurella joke, which is took you 100 games to score a goal?
I don't really. This question, by the way, the question on the tweet is no.
Is he currently the best young right back in the world?
Nope.
What?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just realized what that said. I didn't even read that. Why would you?
I'm not surprised at this. I'm not surprised at this like milestone personally. I mean, especially thinking back to that Poch season where Reece James was not being managed.
We were heavily dependent on him in that Poch season.
It not being managed in any sense. Gusto was effectively our first choice right back. Well, I know Reece James played when fit, but the lack of availability just meant that Gusto was the go-to.
No, 100%. Yeah, and he's been. I know last season was a rough season for him, but this season I've been overall pretty happy with him. And obviously I was really happy with him in that first season under Poch. So hopefully he continues to play well. I think I heard rumors that they're going to try to negotiate giving him another contract or something, or renegotiate his contract, which some people may or may not like, considering Achimpong as well is in this club, and he could be a potential player for Chelsea's future at the right back position. But we'll see what happens with that situation if that ever comes up. Malagusto, congrats on 100 games. Thank you for serving Chelsea that long, and hopefully good games and good performances and a good career at Chelsea continue on, man. Let's move on to the next topic I have for you guys, which is related to Thiago Silva. Literally, Isago Silva. So, good news for our under 18s or under 21s. Thiago Silva's son, Isago, has signed his first professional contract at Chelsea. So, big up to him. I'll just do a little round of applause for Isago Silva. I shouldn't be surprised. I think any son of Thiago Silva is very likely to be a good player or a professional footballer at some point. So big up to him. I don't know what position he actually plays. I'm sure I can't imagine he doesn't play as a defender. Actually, maybe I can look it up. Isago Silva. Maybe I can look it up. But yeah, what do you guys think about this happening? Isago Silva is developing into a player within Chelsea's ranks. Says he's a left back, but he has played center back. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah. 17 years old. 17 years old, gets a professional contract.
I mean, I know nothing about him. It's really hard to say.
But I'm excited. If he... It's always a little bit of the hype because, it's your father was like one of the football greats. So it's big shoes to fill. But I think with Thiago Silva's mentoring and stuff, I'm sure he's going to be a great center back. Whether he stays at Chelsea and works up the ranks, we'll see in time. But it does get me excited that, the son of I would say like a footballing legend is within our ranks and potentially could see himself be a part of Chelsea's team. I hope so. And I hope he is, grows up to be as good as his father. This is what I'm thinking. Because when Thiago Silva was at the club, I remember having discussions with you guys and other people within, the Chelsea space about how different Chelsea's like trajectory would have been if we had actually had a center back pairing of like a prime Thiago Silva with a prime John Terry.
Yeah.
That probably, you reckon with that center back pairing, we probably would have broken our own defensive record?
Yeah, you would hope so.
That's a crazy center back pairing. Actually, would you guys, okay, let me ask you this. I'll start with Scott. Scott, prime Chelsea, right? Prime defensive monstrous Chelsea, right? Would you take the center back pairing of John Terry and Carvalho, or would you swap out Carvalho for Thiago Silva? Chat, what do you guys think as well? Let me know in the chat.
So,
I feel like that's a decent question because Carvalho was like,
yeah, Carvalho was elite, man. Like as a centre back, he was so underrated. Like there was
to be
like,
fair, Thiago Silva was too, you know, in the beginning at least.
Who would argue that Carvalho was better than Terry, in that season at least.
Yeah. This is true.
I don't know is the and it's kind of a cop out answer, but I'd be really interested in seeing it.
I feel that that's a tough one. I can't lie. I'm probably, this is probably like just bias. It's probably South American bias and also just recency bias, but I feel like I would take Thiago Silva. Just because like it just overall all the abilities he has, like on the ball, off the ball, reading of the game. Like obviously this is years ago, but I don't know if Carvalho had like the ball playing ability that Silva has. I know Terry had it in his locker, but I just can't remember that far back. Oliver, what do you think? Who would you?
I think I'd have to ask a question before that. When are we saying John Terry's prime is? Because obviously his best season arguably was our first Premier League title in 04-05. But are we saying that's his prime, or are we saying his prime is when he's a bit more experienced, has a few more league titles?
Honestly, I would, maybe prime wasn't the best word, but like I guess the best defensive Chelsea team is that team that had Carvalho and Terry, and that's the era I'm referring to. When, you know, Stamford Bridge was a fortress and we can only conceded 15 goals in that one season. You know, we're going band for band with freaking Rio and Vidic, you know?
So I guess the question you're asking is, would I take Thiago Silva at his best and drop him in to the 04-05 defense for either Terry or Carvalho? I think I'd probably. I mean, the thing is, Carvalho was just so amazing, especially for that Champions League win with Porto. You know, no one ever thought would happen. I think for that, and he was the more experienced player at the time. I think having Silva and a prime Carvalho, I think at that time would have worked better. But I think John Terry later on with a few more league titles and, you know, more experience getting to the semis and the Champions League and stuff, I think later on in John Terry's career, that would have been even better. But for 04-05, I'd probably say Silva Carvalho.
Really? Silva Carvalho? You would take...
I mean, because you got to remember, in 04-05, John Terry was the understudy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what... I mean, he was the captain, of course, but at the top level of winning league titles and going far in the Champions League, Carvalho was the calm head.
Wow.
He knew what to do in that situation.
It's hilarious to associate Carvalho with calm head because my memories of Carvalho are him just getting sent off.
I didn't mean in the literal sense, but you know, he knew what he was doing, and he was comfortable in that environment because he'd been there before. But yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, I it's hard for me to say because also like that's probably one of the best defensive pairings in the history of the Prem. So it's like, I know Thiago Silva. Like if I had to compare like Thiago Silva's career with Carvalho's career, I think Carvalho has a better career, to be honest. Does he?
Well, then Thiago
Because
Silva.
Carvalho, yeah, right. Because Carvalho went to Real Madrid and he ended up winning like Champions Leagues and stuff with them. Not
Not as a starter, I don't think, though, right?
I don't know actually.
Because they were winning. Their Champions Leagues came with like Ramos and Pepe and Varane. It wasn't really Carvalho.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean Varane was after that though. Varane was like, when did Varane go to fucking?
Varane went there as an 18-year-old under Mourinho.
Varane go to.
I know Mourinho was the manager. I can't remember what year it was. I think it was Mourinho's last season at Madrid.
2011. So that was, yeah. Carvalho had left a few seasons before that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think Carvalho won a UCL with Real Madrid. I might be wrong on that, but that Porto UCL was just such an important, achievement in football, in European football. No one thought it would ever happen.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's like a true underdog story. I mean, to be fair, Porto is like rich history club, but I mean, how good were they?
But the thing is, you got to remember, Mourinho was so young back then. Like no one thought even he could do it, and he was unproven.
Yeah, that's why they called him the special one. He is the special one indeed. But yeah, I think that's an interesting topic. That might be something I bring back later in another time. But yeah, Isago Silva, big up to you, man. Hopefully he keeps developing. Hopefully we actually see Thiago Silva come back to Chelsea in some shape or form in coaching as well. I'd love to see that. But yeah, that's the news on Isago Silva. I figured some of you fans might be interested to see what's been going on with the Silvas, because we all knew they are still in the UK, and Isago was part of the academy. So big up to him. Let's continue on. Cucurella. We have a little bit of discussion on Cucurella, and there's been a bit of clarity on his contract situation. So I recall, like, we talked about him getting a contract in the summer. I think it kind of went under the radar for a few people, but we have a little bit of a, not an update, but a clarity on what the exact contract is. So Fabrizio Romano saying here earlier that Marco Cucurella only signed improved terms at Chelsea during the summer. The length of the contract is the same. He received an increase of salary. As it stands, Cucurella's contract runs out in June 2028. So that's 3 years from now. I'll be honest, as great as Cucurella is, I don't mind this. I don't. I think the Cucurella we have right now is prime Cucurella. I think in maybe another season or two, we could start seeing a bit of a decline, which is important. Which is even more important that we got Jarell Hato, because there will come a point where we have to start rotating Cucurella. I don't think he'll be as durable as he is now. With age, just does come some fragility. So I do think this is okay. I'm kind of all right with the fact that they didn't extend his contract, because we can always sit back at the table in 2027 and see where we're at. But if Cucurella were to leave the club in 2 seasons, I don't think I'd be that upset about it. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
Depends how we replace him.
That's also a good point. I mean, Hato has potential. I do think Hato, over the course of time, will step up. But I just don't want to see another Aspie situation. We ran Aspie to the ground, and I felt horrible towards the end.
Yeah, but Aspie was like 32 when, like, in that season under Tuchel and Potter.
That was a rough one.
Yeah, how old's Cucurella now? How old's Cucurella going to be in 2028?
So he's going to be 28 in July. So he just turned 27. Okay. So in 2028, he's going to be...
He'll be 31.
31. So I kind of agree with not extending the contract. But by that point, he could be our only senior player besides James for leadership purposes. Cuckoo will only be, 30 by then? That's not true though. Like we're gonna have the likes of Enzo, Palmer, all these other players that will eventually become senior players with experience and all that. You know, Levi Colwell as well. We'll see, because a lot of these players are on long contracts. So, yeah, I'm not opposed to this. I think this is fine. We can always reevaluate it later on, but I just don't want to see Cucurella here at Chelsea in his early 30s struggling like Aspie was, because that was, I can't lie, that was hard to watch at times. Like,
well, I think you know, like I said, I think it entirely, my feeling on it entirely depends on how we replace him, and the approach for replacing him has to be the same approach that we took when we bought him. Has to be one of the best fullbacks in this league.
Yeah,
as
and hopefully, like Hato develops into that, or into that conversation at least. Because like in terms of fullbacks and on the left back position, if I'm looking at the league right now, Calafiori's not bad. Kirkez has had a complete plummet. But he could potentially be, you know, he could have a resurgence in his career at some point.
I'd say the best ones right now, you look at that, Nico O'Reilly's probably on that list at the moment.
Oh, Nico O'Reilly's been pretty good too. And he's young.
Yeah.
We were interested in Nico O'Reilly.
We wanted him, yeah.
Yeah, we did want him for a little bit. That never happened. And I think he actually ended up signing a contract at City. So it's very likely that he's going to stay at City for a significant amount of time. I don't know what other left backs are out there that I would be, as of right now, that I would be like, yeah, you're eventually going to have to be the Cucurella replacement.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm not sure.
And I'm happy with Hato. Like, I just need to see development, right? Like, if he starts to develop, I'm confident that there's going to be a good player there. Whether he's going to be as good as Cucurella, though, like, that's going to be tough.
I need to see opportunities first, because ever since Karabag, he's been sent to another dimension.
That's very true, actually. Yeah, that's very true. Scott, what do you think about the Cucurella contract? Till 2028, you're okay with that?
Nope.
What do you want him to extend past his 30s?
Yep, absolutely. I think leaving it till 2028 is stupid. That's 2 years as of the summer.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't have anyone like close to be able to take his spot in this team. Like, nowhere close. Especially to do the things he's done for this team in terms of from like an inverting point of view with the system we play. Obviously, we don't know if that's going to be the same going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a stupid idea. Like, also because like I have no faith in this ownership group and he's Sporting Directors replacing him adequately. Like, we can talk about Hato, but Hato has played in all comps so far this season 527 minutes.
That's equivalent of like what?
To put that into perspective,
4 90-minute games or 5 90-minute games.
To put that into perspective, if you take out the players that have been injured for like the season, he has the 6th least amount of minutes in the squad.
Who has the least amount of minutes?
Of those not injured, Mark Hugh.
Wow, really? I feel like Mark Hugh has played so much more than Hato.
Yeah, but he was on loan for like a few weeks.
Like, it depends on how you want to look at this, because like I'm looking at it now. The person who's actually played the least amount of minutes is Shin Moika, who played 20 minutes. I don't include him. Then it's Walsh. I don't include him. Then it's Buddy Shield. That's injuries. Then Lavia, injuries. Then it's Hugh.
I see what you're saying.
But by the way, when I say Hato, by the way, has the 6th least amount of minutes, let me tell you the players under him: Mark Hugh, Jorgensen, Buenanotte, George, and Acheampong. So the fact that he barely plays currently, and we are nearly halfway through the season, is not a good look. Considering if this is the guy that's going to replace Cucurella, he needs to start basically performing and playing games, even if he doesn't perform, actually just playing in games on a consistent basis. I would say by next season, which means he needs to be getting some level of minutes so far this season, which he's not. But yeah, I think it's a terrible idea, because like I said, they're not going to replace him with anything, any sort of quality. I think the one thing it does do is it just validates this idea as well, that like as soon as you get to a certain age, you're just gone. Like we haven't really seen it for players of Cucurella's level. Like, we'd seen it for Sterling, and we'd seen it for, I'm trying to think who else we'd done it for, like Jorginho and Kante. Like, I'm thinking about the first season and whatnot. But these guys weren't performing to the level that Cucurella is now at the time. Like, the whole squad wasn't really. But we haven't seen this kind of exodus, for lack of a better term, for guys when he does leave, if he does leave in 2028, of like 30 and over, for someone who's playing that well, you know. So I thought it might be different. Of like, okay, if you're playing to a certain level, and by playing to a certain level, I'm talking about the best left back in the world level, maybe it'd be different, you know. Clearly it's not, which then doesn't bode well for the other dudes we have in terms of like Palmer and Caicedo later down the line. If they're still doing this stupid model later down the line, and we're still not winning shit, and by which I mean majors, because fuck Carabao Cups and things like that. I'm talking about league titles, especially. Yeah, it's just
How long would you give him? If you were back into negotiating table in the summer, how long would you have given Cucurella then?
Another 2 years.
Another 2 years until he gets 32.
So he's 32 at that point. That also gives you enough time to, excuse me, that also gives you more than enough time to show that Hato is ready, and to not only show that he's ready, but to get him learning the stuff he can't do, because he can't do the inverting stuff the same way Cucurella can. Nowhere near. We already saw that this season with West Ham, Brentford. I think there was another game. Can't do the inverting stuff.
He was stressful against Brentford. Yeah,
he can do the like strolling into a back three stuff really well, because obviously he started as a centre back, so that's fine. He can't do the inverting stuff. And defensively, you know, it just all it does more than anything. Well, number one, it gets you to keep a fantastic player at the football club. It's number one.
Yeah.
And number two, I talk about this a lot. I apologise if you've heard me say this before, but it's just, your margin for error goes down. All of a sudden, you're not having to rely on Hato after like 2 years of being here to play significant minutes and to basically be the starting left back, when he's basically going. So, like I said, this season he's had no minutes. I don't really expect that to change from now to the end of the season unless something massively changes. That means next season he's going to have to play a large amount of minutes to be in a position where then the season after, because like, my way of thinking of this would be, if he's leaving in 2028, that 27-28 season, Cucurella would be my backup. He'd be my guy I rotate in for Hato, because he's going to leave at the end of the season anyway. I want Hato starting most of the games. So it means he needs to become a regular squad player next season.
Who's the Scott or Oliver? Who's the youngster that we sent to Strasbourg and then brought back, and then we sent to Swansea?
Samuel Smith.
Back? He's another one that they probably have him in mind in the pipeline as well. Not for now, obviously, but like for in the time that like Scott's referring to, where like there's gonna have to be another left back that's the number one, and Cucurella is gonna have to rotate. And
that would be Hato. Why don't you buy Hato and why don't you just promote Samuel Smith? Like, that would just be stupid. And like, Samuel Smith could be good, could be bad, but you put your eggs into the Hato basket, and like I said, if they're just doing this for the next 2 years, the margin, like, Hato has to be the guy. This is again why I would have given him a new 2-year deal when you had 4 years to work this out. Instead of having 2 years to work this out, give yourself 4 years. At the end of the day, if Cucurella ends up becoming a bit part player in like the second year, say, you just sell him to a Spanish team for like 30 million.
Oh yeah. Probably even for more than that, to be honest. But
I do. If you're a bit part player, I'm thinking like,
it depends on the performances. Yeah,
you still keep your investment, because you can potentially actually sell it for something instead of releasing him on a free. You drop the margin for error for your young left back, who you think is going to be the guy for the next 5-6 years, but needs game time and needs to show he's going to be that level. And like I said, ultimately, just on the face of it, you keep the best left back in the world of your football club for longer. I don't understand how that's just not a positive.
Well, the obviously the negative aspect of it is what we saw with Aspie. That's if the manager decides to be, because Tuchel to an extent too, like he's to blame for that. Like he was persistent on playing Aspie. Well, no, but he was persistent on playing Aspie when he had other options. You know, like he specifically played Aspie enough to trigger that extension on his clause.
Yeah, James tore his hamstring that season.
James tore his hamstring that season.
Your other option was Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Chalobah.
Right wing back, because that's where he was.
Chalobah at wing back.
Yeah, he did play Chalobah a few times there, but yeah, Ruben ended up being
not
like
a wing
the
back
better option.
Not a wing back. That's what I'm saying. Like the issue with Aspie was that he wasn't replaced by the owners, because he started declining from Sarri season. Like he was not great under Sarri because he was because of the system we started implementing. He was asked to do a lot more as a right back, which he couldn't do, especially at his age at the time. Now that's where I will say Cucurella has over him. He is, I think, more athletically gifted going forward than Aspie was at the same age, and I think hopefully that stays. I think he'll be fine in that aspect. But yeah, that was on the club for not replacing Aspie, and so it was him or Zappacosta under Sarri, and Zappacosta wasn't going to play.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, it was not looking too nice there. But you know what? Now that Scott said all that, though, I feel like when you think about it in terms of the other players like Hato, if Cucurella's contract in the summer only lasts 2 years, which he's right, like it's a 2 years left on his contract once we get to the summer, then you're asking Hato to be the number one in the next 2 years, which I don't think that's really fair for Hato. I think that's a lot of pressure on the kid, to be honest. And he's still a kid. He's what? He's 19, 18? Jarell Hato. So we're asking Hato, we're asking Hato to be the starting left back for Chelsea at the age of 21.
That's not the issue.
I don't know about that.
I don't. That's not the issue for me.
I just don't think, like, when I look at the way you look at it, I think those extra 2 years on Cucurella's contract to like have that experience and really learn the craft and really be like appropriately primed for the Premier League, I think those extra 2 years matter. What are you gonna say, Scott?
I can't say. Oh yeah, so the issue isn't in playing for Chelsea, right, or being the starting left back for Chelsea, because ultimately we have some terrible players playing for us at times, and at the moment, as we'll probably get to, we have a bunch of terrible players playing for us who don't really deserve to play for Chelsea, but because we're a top 4 team, it's fine. The issue of Hato, good enough title challenging left back, potentially, like, which he may have to be. Now, not every player in your team has to be title challenging if he's with the title, but I'm looking at who else we have, you know. Actually, Ahmed makes a very good point, by the way. So like, it's one of those of, like, it's again, is he good enough to help us win league titles? By the way, we're expecting to win league titles either next season, or the season after. Which, like I said, if in my mind what the plan is with Cucurella and Hato, means Hato would have to be starting most of the season the year we win the league, because either Cucurella is going to be the backup because you're rotating him out, or what actually might happen, I didn't consider this until Ahmed mentioned it, if they're going to try and retain their, and well, I say retain the rest of it, if they're going to try and recoup something from Cucurella, they'll sell him in the summer of 2027, which means we only really have a year left of Cucurella after this season, if they want to get their money back on him and they don't want to extend him, which would be fucking stupid. But I could see them doing it, which means then you'd go into a title challenging season, or no, actually, fuck that, title winning season at that point, because we've wasted enough time with Hato as your left back, having spent this season playing no minutes basically up until this point.
Actually, no, they would start trying to sell him this summer, surely, because
I was thinking this summer.
Oh no, actually, no, sorry, 2027, actually.
You know what? Do it. Just make the team worse. I'd do it, man. Make the team fucking worse.
Marc Cucurella's transfer to Chelsea from Brighton in August 2022. Initial cost was £56 million, potentially rising to £63 million with add-on. So let's just say, for the sake of math, it was a £65 million transfer. I could see it. I'm not gonna lie, I could see it. I could see in the summer them deciding, hey, Cuckoo, thank you for your service. We found you a home in PSG or something, or I don't know.
By the way, Marshall,
Barcelona.
I'm having a look here. By the way, you know what I said as well about the minutes. Like,
Yeah.
the thing is, it kind of gets worse because Hato's minutes, in games he starts, he usually finishes the game. If that makes sense. If you just look at the games he's played, like he's actually played in, he has played in the. Again, taking
He's
injuries
like
out of the equation.
4 games. That's it.
If you take injuries out of the equation, he has played 1, 2. He's played the joint third least amount of games, like with Mark Hugh. He's played 8 games.
Damn.
I just want to point out here that before I even give my sensational take on Cucurella, let's just solve the Hatter situation. Yeah. Listen, obviously it's been revealed today. He's only got Cucurella's only got less than basically just over 2 years now, because
Yeah, 2.5 years.
in January it's going to be 6 months basically, right? We have got Joel Hatter here getting barely any minutes, getting here N-word minutes, if you know what I mean, and we're expecting this guy. There's a potential this guy could be starting for us as a left back next season, Marshall.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because that's
deep
essentially.
This has been black.
I don't know if you heard, but that's essentially what I was alluding to. With like, okay, if you're not gonna extend his contract and his contract is gonna end at 2028, then you're expecting Hato to be a starter in the next 2.5 seasons.
No. That's not true. We know that the club usually sells their players with 2 years left on their deal, which is this summer. That's why I wrote that point that in the chat that this guy probably is going to get sold this summer. Because remember, they love to maintain value. If you're not going to sign and you've got 2 years left on your deal, they're cashing on you right now. Remember, that's what they did with a lot of players that have not signed new contracts with us, essentially. If you've got 2 years or less, you're gone. So
you can even trace it back to what Bowley's kind of said in his appearances. Like he said, basically, a 7-year contract is really a 5-year contract.
Exactly. So
he discounts the 2 years because that's when you start either renegotiating or you start the sale process.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying to you, Marshall. So like for me, there's a realistic chance if they're not planning to re-sign him, he's gone this summer. And so you're left with a situation here before we even go into transfer market, if you need to. Joel Hatter, bro, barely got any minutes, and he's basically going to be essentially a starting left back that season.
That's what I said.
Right? You were saying in 2.5 years. I'm making the point.
Within 2.5 seasons, you're expecting him to be the starter.
It's not within. It's more likely that he's probably going to be in 6 months. That's the point.
That's within 2.5 seasons. So yes, I get what you're saying.
No. You're giving them a much broader spectrum. But like I think Marshall, you're giving them obviously like a broader spectrum, which I respect. I'm making the point.
No, just within this time frame, he's going to be started.
I'm making the point though. It's not within that time frame, though. With the way they move, it's not within that time frame. That's the point I'm making. Yeah.
By the way, actually finish because I want to address this comment.
Because I think there's obviously there's that side of it, and then there's a second side of it, which is to do with Cucurella himself, right? Which is that why did we only increase his pay? One of the things that confused me about even the pay increase is that we already were paying him one of the highest wages before the directors came in. Because remember, his contract was before the directors came in. He was on like 170, 180k before the price increase, Marshall. So for me, I'm not understanding why we decided to increase the pay.
Let me look at his Capology real quick. Oh shit! He's at 175,000 pounds with 43 in bonuses.
But that was before Marshall. He was on
That's the new one. That's the old one. Yeah, that's the old one.
That's the old one. We don't know what the new one is.
So for me, so for me, the new one probably is around about 200k. I'm gonna be honest. Like they probably
probably
200, right?
Probably matching Reese's.
But for me, my question is, why did you not increase the contract size? And the only thing that means to me is that we're gonna give you a pay increase for doing well, but we're still looking to probably cash in on you quite soon. That's the only thing that can.
Yeah, it's because the age thing. That's what I said.
Exactly. No, I agree with you, Scott. I agree with you. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
No.
There you have it. I mean, I wasn't talking to you, Mark.
Kick him out.
Marshall.
All right, go ahead,
What were you
Prime.
gonna
What
ask? What were you gonna ask?
are you gonna say, Prime? Go on.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, for fuck's sake, bro! No,
You know
get
what?
out of here,
Get him
man.
out. Get him out.
Like, yo, you've done this show for so long, and all you need to do is just sit down and listen. You know, just sit down and listen, and you'll pick up on the conversation.
want to address this.
That's what you needed to ask. We're talking about Cucurella. Prime. Go ahead, Scott. Finish what you're saying.
No one's saying that we're not going to buy a new left back. I just don't really fancy trusting the useless directors and owners we currently have in place who bought us such amazing players such as Jamie Gittins and Liam Delap. Respectfully, like, why would I trust them to go and buy a new left back when they can't even replace, like, they can't replace the striker or winger or centre back or goalkeeper effectively? But I'm meant to trust that they're going to buy a good enough replacement for Cucurella. No, thank you.
I feel like that's a really shallow way of looking at it, but go ahead, Prime.
You know who did?
Prime, what's up?
Nope.
Prime, I think you're having mic issues. It's like coming in and out.
More information.
It sounds like lag.
You're lagging, man.
No, they didn't, by the way. They did not find Cucurella. That was Bowley.
I think my mic. Give me a sec.
No, they didn't find Cucurella. Yeah, that was Bowley. That was Bowley on the hype. And we got lucky with Cucurella because Cucurella only came to Chelsea because City didn't sign him. City didn't want to pay the wages.
And when Stanley and Stuart wanted to loan is Manchester United.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
No, he was literally our only good signing out of the 7 signings we made out of that window, I think.
I mean, Carney was a good signing, but just...
he didn't end up being, maybe at the time, but...
Yeah.
Fofana was a good signing based on the talent, but like he's only not.
Oh, that too. His availability.
I'm not looking at as a good signing.
No, I see what you're saying. But like the talent was there, but we got him.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, we got unlucky with that one. Cucurella is the best signing out of that first window, to be fair. But I actually, now that I've spoken with you guys, I actually do agree. Like, I do think like it would be wise. I personally think it's not fair to Hato or even Samuel Smith if we're gonna go down that road, right? To like say, okay, Cucurella, we're gonna sell you this summer. Hato, you're the starter now. Like, bro, we've barely seen the guy play. We've barely seen Samuel Smith play. To expect them to start game in and game out is actually ridiculous, and that's bad planning in my opinion.
In the 8 games he started, half of those he played like shit. Which I'm that's not like a saying he's a bad player, but like I'm expecting him to be bad to begin with, like, but just because it's a new team and new league. But yeah, in the 8 games he started or played in, I should say, he hasn't started that many. He has been crap 3 or 4 of them. Well, 3 of them at least, potentially a 4th. I'm trying to remember if he was crap in either of the cup games we played. Yeah, and also of the 8 games he played, he only played, I think, 5 of those at left back. Yeah, 5 of those at left back. So we're not even fully playing him at left back all the time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna back up Scott here. I'm gonna back up Scott here a little bit. Yeah, I've seen someone mention Samuel Smith. You know, Samuel Smith is a great prospect, obviously from the Chelsea academy. I think he's at Coventry right now, isn't it?
Swansea.
Sorry, Swansea, right? But again, we're in a similar situation. If Cucurella leaves, we're replacing someone that's probably one of the best players in our team with, again, potential FC again, bro.
He's not even playing at thingy, by the way.
No, I'm just pointing out that he's just potential at this point. That's the point for now. He's just potential. He's not even ready.
He's not even playing, bro. So like, even if he's potential, bro isn't ready to start playing. Bro isn't playing for Swansea, by the way.
The problem right now is, and I said this before, we need. We talk about left back.
Yeah, let Ahmed finish.
No, the replacement for
I can hear you now.
Know that, right?
No. I know I was gonna bring that up too, but I was going through the example that someone gave in the chat first, Prime. But obviously, listen, Barker would be a good replacement. I would hear that for you. But again, he's probably gonna. I think I'm gonna be generous to him because I've seen it with the way Santos is integrating this season. He probably needs another season, right? So I feel like there's this issue of like where the guys you're bringing in, there's gonna be an integration time that's gonna be needed. For me, go ahead. No. My thing actually, more so than anything else, is that you have an issue of an integration problem with the guy, any guy that's probably going to come in for Cucurella, right? Which is, again, is that something that you need? For example, when a lot of people's the expectation is going into next season or the season after, for example, or just the next season, look at the next season in general, is title challenging. Right?
Yeah, 100%. If we're
Right?
following the plan.
Exactly, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, the argument for me is not sound at that point, if that makes
Actually,
sense.
next season isn't even really even title challenging. It's supposed to be to win the title.
No.
Sounds-
Apparently next season isn't even. Bro, I don't even know, man. Like that's why I gave him 2 years, because I don't even know. Like these
Anyway.
guys, the way these guys are moving, bro. We're gonna speak about some of these other players, and especially in attack later.
100%. Yeah.
I don't know what the plan is anymore, because that
It seems
the
goalpost seems to shift every
Ornstein
season.
tweet, or was it someone else that tweeted about the 4-year or the 4-window plan?
Mhm.
That tweet was doing the rounds again. I saw that tweet again today.
Just daily, right?
I think it might have been daily. On that tweet, it says we can start judging them from the 1st of September 2024.
Yeah, I know about that, fam. I mean, on the Barco situation
So like
that Prime brought
when we
up.
get to the start of next season, or when we like at the end of next summer transfer window, we're going to be 2 years into being able to judge them.
Yeah.
So, like, that whole plan was bullshit, man. I don't know what the plan is. There is no plan.
Yeah. Before Prime talks on the situation too, like I like the idea of Barco on paper, but can I be like honest? One, I do think I do get worried about the physicality of the Prem when it comes to Barco. Just because Barco is a relatively smaller player. Like I'm thinking like Billy Gilmore, right? Like Billy Gilmore struggled a little, not badly, but he struggled to get like a home where he can really like be the player he could be. I think Barco might have that same struggle just because of just how physical the league can be. That's not to say it's not possible. It definitely is possible, but I think he has that to his disadvantage. But not only that, but like, and Prime, maybe you know the answer to this. How often is he even playing at left back anymore? Like
He's not.
the last
He's
game
mostly central
I saw-
midfielder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Midfielder.
Like the last game, he's been playing a lot more in like a cam central midfielder role.
Fun fact about Billy G, he don't even play for Napoli anymore, mate.
Where is he?
Yeah,
at
because
Napoli.
he's injured. That's why.
He went to Napoli in 2024 summer.
So, but yeah, Barco would make the most sense out of what we have to replace Cucurella,
Yeah,
because
that was good that you brought that up
Hato-
too, because I forgot about
I
it.
don't even think Hato's necessarily a left back. I think maybe he's even more of a center back. That Ishmael Smith, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
like whatever, that was just pure profit. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Scott is right. Like every year, we're just reducing the age of the squad, and we're not necessarily getting better in the current day. All this potential stuff is all nice. It's all well and good. But when all your best potential players are shipped out on loan, but they're all 16, 18-year-olds, and we're left with mid, basically. We don't up, and we spend all this. The thing is, our defense not making much of an improvement makes sense because we didn't do anything to upgrade the defense. We didn't bring in a new center back. We didn't bring in a new goalkeeper. So our defense still looking more. Hold on, our defense still looking more or less the same. Fair enough, makes sense, especially with Colwell being out. But we spent a little under 200 million on 2 wingers and 2 strikers.
Before Scott goes, go ahead, Prime. Finish your sentence. I'm sorry.
We don't look any better. Maybe arguably we look even worse. And I know there's also context with Palmer being out, but Palmer would only do what he did the first half of last year, where him scoring goals would be saving us, but we would still have games where our forwards look meh.
Mm-hmm. Before Scott answers, I'm so glad some of you guys in the chat are not football directors, because you go from saying this, and big up, by the way, Musfa, right? These directors should buy proven players, and then what you give me is sell Enzo Fernandez to Real Madrid and buy Bruno Guimaraes. No disrespect to Bruno Guimaraes. I do think he's a good player, but you lose out on so many traits that Enzo Fernandez provides by going to Bruno Guimaraes. Like, forget
I
creativity.
disagree.
You're not going to get that anymore.
There are trade-offs.
Also, what
I think Bruno would fit.
He's
this
better
team.
physically.
I think Bruno
No,
would
but
fit this team. so well.
Bruno's a quality player, but he's not an Enzo. In terms of what Maresca wants Enzo to do in this team, Bruno wouldn't be the one to replace him. That just wouldn't make sense.
He's not going to give you the box crashing that
Bruno's
Enzo gives you.
not a box crasher,
And he's
not a
definitely
goal
not giving you the
scorer.
passing ability.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't want the box crash. And we had a conversation about this on Lewis's channel earlier.
Scott, I agree. I said this on a few weeks ago on Lewis's channel. We spent 100 million on a Lamborghini, and we're driving him in Croydon in London. Like,
It's not even. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that anymore. Like, I think we know what the type of player Enzo is, and like this is just the type of player he is.
We overpaid for him.
no,
My
but
problem,
yeah, a lot.
my problem is
You can
the
get
issue with
much
Enzo.
more out of Enzo. You can.
I personally don't think you can. I think yesterday was an eye opener. He can't go deeper. He can't do the dictating play thing.
I didn't watch the game against Bournemouth, so I don't.
Why are you missing so many
I don't
games,
know how
Prime?
to-
What's
yeah.
up, bro?
just before you go, Prime. Just before you go, Prime. Quickly.
Can I not?
The
finish
problem, just before you go quickly, Prime, yeah. My problem, the way Enzo plays, yeah, and I hate to use this comparison because I used it in the review stream. It is very similar to what Mount used to do initially, where he would get the ball midfield, be a bit of a dog at times, run into that box and crash. That's the same thing that Mount used to do for us, bro. And listen, we used to cook Mount a lot,
When you
bro.
say Gallagher's closer to that?
I
And
don't know
even
about the
Gallagher-
box crashing, but Gallagher,
box-
yeah.
No, but Mount used to.
Mount-
no.
Mount
You have to look
got
at
back from
Mount used to do that a lot more in the Lampard
No,
season.
no,
You have to
I
remember
don't agree
in the
with that.
Lampard season.
I don't
which
agree
is-
with that.
In the
No,
Lampard, no,
I don't.
in
I
Lampard's
think
first.
you're confusing Gallagher more.
No,
I think
no,
Gallagher is more what you're looking for, but Mount wasn't
Hey,
really
listen,
box
I don't
crashing
wanna-
even under Enzo, under Frank.
No, he wasn't.
He was in the second.
Yeah, he was in the second season. That's why I brought him up initially. But the Gallagher's a much better example. That's the second guy I was going to use, but I don't want to get cooked for saying
Too late.
You can mention this.
Yeah, but the reason why I bring up Gallagher because Gallagher used to do that consistently, winning runs, had the engine, whether we like it or not. His issue obviously was spatial awareness, right?
And finishing.
The finishing
And creativity.
No. But the thing is, Enzo's not giving you that creativity either right now. In terms of that role specifically, that that does not require creativity. That's the only difference. That's the only difference.
Go ahead, Prime. You can answer.
Can I finish speaking?
Yeah, go ahead, Prime. I
No,
don't
no.
wanna
Say no
interrupt
to
you.
Nigeria.
Just don't bait. Don't get baited. Go ahead,
Alright.
Prime.
All right. Somali head shape. I don't know. Anyways, but Enzo is a lot better than those two players that you guys have mentioned. Gallagher and Mount could only really box crash. Enzo can do so much more. And I'm the same guy that is, or has been in the past, highly critical of Enzo because I know.
Yeah, you
he
wanted
can
him
do more.
sold last season.
But yes, because I don't think the way he plays suits the league. And I didn't think he improved from a physical standpoint. Now he has improved defensively. He has improved off the ball. But the way Maresca wants to use him, and to be fair, the way Maresca plays, I have quite a few frustrations with it. Because the way you play doesn't allow your striker to consistently score goals. The way you play, you rely on a box crasher. Your system allows your wingers to have 1v1 opportunities, which is awesome. But yet we don't have wingers who are consistently going to take advantage of that. So it would help if we had an overlapping fullback. We have an overlapping fullback in Gusto, but you won't let him do that consistently. You want him to play in midfield, which he has improved on doing that, but he's still not like brilliant at that all the time. There's frustrations where you're trying to adapt to what you want to do, but this squad could also, or certain players in the squad could also do different things. Like, I think Enzo should be playing in the deepest phase for us, particularly now where Lavia can't do that because he can't stay fit. We don't have Colwell, and if Chalobah and Fofana are going to be our starting centre backs until the end of the season, then we really need someone to sit deeper. And Enzo can't sit deepest on his own, because if he gets pressed and he doesn't have players around him to pop the ball off to, then we're in immediate danger. Caicedo can't really sit deepest because I don't think he's the best ball progressor. So then that's maybe just reliant on James to do. And Enzo's also not a 10. So Enzo playing in the 10, yes, fine, it's okay if Palmer's injured.
He needs to play in the 10.
I don't think he is a 10.
He's not an 8 though, not in what we want to do in this. Like,
exactly, and that then goes back to my point of this project. We spent big money on Enzo Fernandez, and he's just a waste being here.
I don't know about waste. I think that's harsh, but he's definitely not hitting the heights we thought.
You're not getting the best out of Enzo Fernandez unless you're benefiting.
Marshall is a waste. If you buy a Lamborghini and you sit it in your garage, not doing anything, collecting dust, it's a waste.
But that's not what's happening with Enzo, honestly, right? Like, he's not just sitting there collecting dust.
I vehemently disagree, by the way, with the teasing.
For Enzo's talents, and again, I'm the guy who's critical of Enzo. For Enzo's talents, it is a waste.
You know what's a waste? This is my definition of a waste, Prime.
Comparing him to the fact that you can even utter the words Mason Mount and Gallagher box crasher to Enzo.
Well, that's
what he is.
Ahmed. That's Ahmed, but that's the role, right? Like before Scott goes, like I think
we shouldn't.
No. I think it's just the role. I think, first of all, just to address your initial point, like that he's been a waste. Like, I think we overpaid for sure. I think all of us can agree we overpaid for Enzo. I don't think he's worth the amount that we paid for. Sure. But to say he's a waste, like to me, the definition, hold on, let me just finish. To me, the definition of, Prime, I let you finish. Let me just finish. To me, the definition of what I would think would be a waste of a player is what we did to Aubameyang. That was a waste of a transfer, where we literally brought him in, played him for a game and a few minutes, and didn't use him for a whole season. Enzo Fernandez does have a use in this team. It's not the ideal use of him. It's not the most effective and efficient use of him. That's like for me, that's like the way I would describe it is like you bought a truck for a pizza delivery job. Like, it's not the most efficient. You can get the job done, but you're going to be guzzling a lot of gas and you're going to be very wasteful, and there's better things you can use this for, right? Enzo, I agree with you, Prime. I think I like Enzo more as a deep-lying playmaker, which we haven't seen since the Potter season.
He's not a deep-lying playmaker, man. Like, I'm sorry. We watched the game yesterday. He's not a deep-lying playmaker.
Marshall, you've not disproved what I said. You just said buying this big truck for a pizza job that you're guzzling petrol or something, wasting money. Exactly. I'm not saying him as a player is a waste. I'm saying for his talents, what he's being forced to do with this way we play this system to box crash is a waste. It's a waste of his talents. And it might come to a point of either we kind of like, if you're spending big money on a player, you make sure you get the best out of them that you can. And
let me give you an example.
Do you honestly think we're doing that?
Well, before I answer that, and I'll let Ahmed answer that. I just want to read some tweets since we're on this topic, and I did have tweets on it. There's two things to bring up, right? There's this first tweet by Simon Johnson. There's an awareness among sources within the club that Enzo Fernandez has improved the most of any player under Maresca. He is regarded by the same sources as being a perfect system fit for how the Italian wants his team to play. The other thing I wanted to bring up was John Ovi Mikel speaking on the midfield. And as a midfielder, I do respect his opinion on this. So he came out and said, there's no better midfield trio than Caicedo, Enzo, Palmer. In the Premier League, they are the best. I don't think they're any better than our trio. I think when you look at what Caicedo is doing right now, there's no better number 6 in the country right now in the world, and there's none. And when you have a fit Cole Palmer, there's no better in terms of creativity, in terms of scoring goals in the team, of influencing the game. There's no better than Cole Palmer. And then he lastly said here, and of course Enzo Fernandez is also getting there. But for me, when you talk about a midfield trio, there is no better. Enzo Fernandez is in that conversation.
There is a midfield trio, by the way.
Go ahead, Ahmed, and then I want to hear Scott's.
I'm just gonna make a quick point. I think, listen, yeah, when I think the way Prime is talking about waste of money or waste of talent, I think you need to look at it for what is said properties of the player, and then what properties are being used currently in the team. Does that make sense, Marshall? Right, that's what you need to look at as, right? There's a difference between obviously a waste of quality in terms of Aubameyang. That's just I brought something and I've just not used them at all, bro. Does that make sense with Aubameyang?
That seems like a waste of a player, you know?
Exactly. That's right. So I think that's what I think Prime is at least trying to say, which I actually agree with.
We are.
Right?
Enzo has obviously massively improved in what he's what Maresca wants him to do. To a point where, remember back end of last season, or maybe during the Club World Cup, I was giving this guy praise for how well he had improved, because I didn't think he could work in the Prem physicality wise. He's massively improved on that. However, still, it's disgusting that he's being forced to do all of this at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think for me, my second point,
box crasher. It's this. You're no better than Declan Rice. Then that's what you're doing. You're doing the Rice role at Arsenal. It's disgusting.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna be real. You should be more.
Yeah, and I think for me, that's what I was. That's the point I made. I think the problem is he can't play the deep line playmaking role in the EPL simply because of the fact, right? Yeah, of the defensive stuff. Marshall, you and I, we have watched him defend quite a few times, bro. I think part of it that plays into it is his size. If I'm going to be very fair, I'm not trying to be disrespecting for his height or his size right here. But like there'll be times where he tries to tackle someone, but because he's either too short, he's one leg too short, it's like 1 inch too short, or he can't match the guy pace for pace, or he can't match the guy at times physically, right? And so those are stuff you need to be able to do if you want to be a deep line playmaker. I'll give you an easy example. Yeah, Pirlo is my favorite midfielder of all time. He's a deep line playmaker, by the way. Yeah, the one thing I can at least credit Pirlo with was that Pirlo could still do the defensive work rate stuff, right? In Serie A, right? He could do that, bro. Right now, the problem with our guy Enzo is that Caicedo takes the vast majority, if not the brunt, of all of that defensive work rate. And so all that's required of him to do, all that's required of him to do, obviously, is then just to do the other stuff. But he doesn't create effectively. And so the man is basically like, I'm going to use you as a box crasher because that's the thing that you can at least do for me. It's going to provide at least a level of value. And I disagree with Lolo's point. I'm actually, in the way we play right now, he is a box crasher. In the way we play right now, he's a box crasher. I noticed this. Go ahead.
I'll say Ahmed. That's his most elite attribute. Is his box crashing, by the way.
Legit is right now for us in the team right now. That's what it is. Yeah.
That's his. No, let me rephrase that. Currently speaking, that's his only elite attribute.
Yeah, because we're not using his other attributes.
No, because he doesn't have the ability to do the other stuff. Like, he can't play as a deep line playmaker. I'm sorry. Like, you can watch the game yesterday and tell he can't do a deep line playmaker.
Again, I didn't watch yesterday's game, so I'm not going to. I didn't watch yesterday's game. But you don't think he can dictate? You don't think he can dictate the tempo of it?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm sorry. When you watch what Jorginho did,
I think he can do that. Just not. I think he can do that. Just not in this league.
He can't do that in the Premier League. He cannot do that in the Premier League.
Oh, you both agree.
Not to an elite level.
You both agree.
No. He cannot do that in the Premier League.
But the thing is, like,
he'll go.
He'll what?
Like, he'll go to Real Madrid and everyone will start complaining. Oh,
that's fine. 100%. He can do that in La Liga. That's cool. It's not
La Liga. He could get away with it. Yeah.
He can do that in La Liga.
But again, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he cannot do that in this league.
And
but
also,
this is why, like,
being a box crasher and getting goals, this is another problem with the system, because our only goal scorers, in terms of the attacking areas, Palmer and Enzo, I'll include. The only reliable goal scorers we have in the team. You not think it's weird that we can't rely on strikers to get goals?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, but like, that's the way you built the team.
I know, but that's bad on the system. I don't like that with Maresca.
If you want to get the best out of Enzo Fernandez, you have to play a midfield three with us in this team in Chelsea.
I agree with that too.
He has to play in a midfield.
Personally, I want to play a 4-3-3 false nine. Personally,
that's what we can do and put Palmer right wing. But that's a change you have to make, because if you're And this is where the manager or the team has to, or the owners have to make a choice. If you're going to play Palmer as the 10, Enzo Fernandez cannot be in this football team on a consistent basis. Or if he's going to be, you cannot expect consistent performances from Enzo Fernandez if he's going to play in a double pivot. Sorry, you just can't. If you're going to try and get the best out of Enzo Fernandez, and you're going to actually try and make him work in this team on a consistent basis, and I'm talking getting the best out of Enzo Fernandez on a consistent basis, not getting a 5 out of 10 game, then a 2 out of 10 game, then a 10 out of 10 game, and then just rinse and repeat of that. You have to play a midfield 3 with Caicedo and one other, whether it's Reece James or whoever behind him, and Palmer out on the right. That he has to do that. Otherwise, there's no point Enzo being here, because like if you want to have Palmer in the 10, you might as well sell Enzo and go and get someone who's more of a two-way player and could do more in the first phase and in terms of just covering around in midfield and be better defensively. Whether that's Bruno G or Elliot Anderson or Adam Wharton. Zubimendi would be perfect for that role as well. But if you're like, this is where, like I said, the manager and the team need to understand, because I'm sorry, you see what Enzo did yesterday and you see how he was against Leeds as well. He cannot do that first phase of build-up play. Like, it's fucking painful watching him do that. He's just bad at it.
You keep mentioning what he did yesterday. Well, how bad was the game against Bournemouth? I didn't watch it.
It was.
How bad was the
he was
lackluster.
Right, prime.
Oh wait, Enzo.
Outside of Delap, who for the 30 minutes he was on the pitch tried to wrestle players until he dislocated his own shoulder. Enzo Fernandez was comfortably the worst player on the pitch.
Is that the worst game he's had for Chelsea?
Wait, would you say
It's
Enzo's
up
the
there.
worst?
No, Enzo Fernandez.
Okay.
Like, that's the worst.
Well-
He was the worst player on the pitch yesterday by a mile.
I mean, he's one of them. I would say, yeah.
No, he
There's
was
all
the
three.
worst player outside of Delap. Like,
I mean-
but again, that was 30 minutes while he tried to wrestle players. He was.
Garnacho, when he was on, he was.
Garnacho was better.
He didn't do
Nutella
a
was
bit.
better.
If we, who would you buy to replace
Adam
Enzo?
Wharton or Elliot Anderson.
No. In terms of what Maresca wants him to do,
Both of
because
those
Wharton
players.
and Anderson
probably.
won't be box crashers.
Both of those players, because just get Palmer to do what he's doing in terms of the box crashing, or get Caicedo to do it. Like, I don't care.
But that's
Like-
the thing too, right? Like, because the thing is,
Why would you want Caicedo?
right now, let's actually analyze what's happening in the team and let's give context to what's happening. Right, we're seeing Enzo box crash. The reason that's happening is because we haven't had Palmer in the 10. Now that Palmer's back in this team, we're gonna see. I don't want to say worse performances from Enzo, but we're not going to see him have the GNA impact that we've been seeing in the first 2-3 months of the season, because now Palmer's there to do that.
What was the GNA last season?
That's not a good thing, because he spent a lot of this season, and he spent a lot of last season as well, scoring or assisting to mark dog shit performances. That's not a good thing.
Wait, so you're saying when Palmer's fit and playing like last year, Enzo still wasn't box crashing?
He was.
Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
he was. He was. That's what
He was, but not as much as
Exactly.
he's has
And he
been
got a
now.
lot of GA
He was.
last
He had a lot of gold actually last season. Towards
Yeah.
A good amount, but I
Like,
think
what we
he's
doing?
on track
What
to
we
match that output.
His output last season was very good, bro.
Was very
He was
good.
probably wasn't it not like the one of the best?
Exactly.
20-something.
So
Yes.
again, what are you saying is why is it it's not just a thing of Palmer's back now, Enzo's not gonna still be Maresca still wants him to do that.
Hold on,
Because a fullback inverts
Mm.
in midfield and takes up his position in midfield, giving him the space to go forward.
I do somewhat agree. Like, yeah, he
who
might
would
do
you
less,
buy
but like he's
To
still doing it.
replace who would you buy to replace Enzo in terms of what Maresca is having Enzo do right now?
Are you saying I have an open checkbook?
Actually, let's say that because I want to know what players you're
Elliot
thinking so far.
Anderson, Gnarly. If they would allow it, the thing is, he's not going to offer you passing, but I don't think it really matters in this team.
I'm not
Valverde,
wrong, but I'll answer you
Yeah,
afterwards.
Valverde would be brilliant.
yeah, one of those three.
Is Elliot Anderson a box crasher?
He used to be a 10 before he got moved further back by, was it last season or this season?
I love Tonali, but Eddie Howe shouldn't be playing him as a box crasher.
But he can do the box crashing. He can do all of it. He did the deep line thing at AC Milan,
Okay,
and then since he's gone to Newcastle, he's been able to do the box crashing thing. And he's
box
also
crash.
he's way better at
Would you
being able to
take-
cover ground, and he's better defensively.
Would you take McTominay or Jude?
No,
No,
Jude
because
maybe, but like not
no,
McTominay.
because part of like I'm not just trying to I'm not just trying to
No, I
replace.
know, I'm joking. I'm joking. I know. I'm joking.
But on a serious note, I'm not trying to like Dana said. I'm not just trying to focus on just getting a player to box crash. That's pointless. Like I'm
No,
trying
no,
to
I
get
know.
someone who can do everything else, because part of it with Enzo is like we talk about the box crashing because that's his elite. That's the only elite attribute he has. I'm trying to get a midfielder who's going to complement Caicedo. Means you don't have to play a midfielder.
I disagree with that.
It is the only. His passing is
That's
not
the only elite. That's the only elite attribute we're using right now.
What other elite attribute does he have?
We know that when he came to this team 3 years ago, his elite attribute that we were excited about was his long range passing, his ability to create, and we did see it. And
do that, Marshall, and doesn't.
but brother, passing from a 10 position, from a deep lying position, are two totally different things. We're talking like long passes and accurate passes. Like I remember the goal against Luton, like that was a pinged pass that Enzo does. And here's the other thing too. Like again, this isn't criticism on Enzo. It's more so like chat, just so if you're just joining in. This is more so like what Enzo's role is in this season, whether we agree this is the best use of him or not. And the thing is, I'm not wrong when I said about the box crashing thing, right? Because I just looked at his Premier League goals from last season. Brother, last season, Prime, he had 6 goals, 7 assists in the Prem. This season, he's already at 4 goals and one assist. And he wasn't box crashing last season. That was all Cole Palmer, right? Cole Palmer was playing that 10. He was box crashing. I'm sorry. He wasn't playing the 10 is what I meant to say. That was Cole Palmer that was playing the 10. This season, he's being asked to play Cole Palmer's role. So yes, you're going to see more goals because he's in that 10 position more often.
Him and Cole Palmer were playing essentially the same
I'm not
play.
talking, yeah, but Marshall, I'm not talking about the 10. I'm not forget the 10 though, because with Palmer back, he's still gonna be with Palmer back. When the lineup comes out, it'll be Caicedo, Enzo in midfield, and then in possession, one of the fullbacks will invert and Enzo will push forward.
Exactly.
So he's still doing this. He still has
There is
the thing.
There is another huge issue with having Enzo in the team, by the way, and I'm glad Palmer got brought up. There is a huge issue with having Enzo in this team if he's going to play in the double pivot, and that's it. And this is on Maresca more than anything, but I don't know if there's a reason he does this. It seems to be that whenever those two play together, Palmer always ends up in the left half space, like stuck in the left half space. And it's because Enzo ends up on the right, and I think it's because he can do those switches over to the left wing. I think that's
part of it.
Which, if that is the case, that's stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but for one element of Enzo's game, which is kind of mid at the moment because we don't even take advantage of it because we can't, to then like get rid of your best player in terms of having him stuck in one area of the pitch that he's not comfortable playing in because he's so left-footed is dumb. Like,
I don't think that's even entirely true, because if you look at the final of the Club World Cup, Enzo was essentially doing a shift at left forward, while Palmer was more on the right.
Marshall, I'm not talking about the Club World Cup. I'm talking about the league. I'm talking
even
about
in the league, though. Like, I'm just giving you an example. It's just
I'm
one
talking
game, but
about
there's been
playing
multiple
in the
games where he
Premier
plays there.
on a week-by-week basis, because I don't give a shit about what we did in the Club World Cup when we're playing in America against Brazilian and French teams, where you had a lot more space and it was a lot different to playing in the Premier League. Like,
I understand that, though,
same with
Scott.
the
But
Champions League. I'm talking about what you're doing in the Premier League, because it's the same conversation about João Pedro.
mm-hmm. The thing is, though, Scott, like I only said the Club World Cup as one example. There's been multiple examples throughout the season, even in the Prem, where Enzo was in those areas. Like, you can look at games towards the end of the season where his heat map was mostly on the left-hand side and Palmer would drift to the right. And that's what Palmer likes to do. Yes, sometimes he did drift to the left. I agree with you on that, but it wasn't solely that. I think that's the other thing with Enzo. It's because I feel like we're going back to what happened last season, where we had these debates of like, when Enzo isn't in the team, we notice a staunch drop in creativity from the team in general. Like I remember that United
Why
game.
replace him?
Oh,
Well, I mean, sure, it could also
Jesus.
be we're not giving him enough credit in terms of the creativity, because this season, sure, you can have your criticisms about what he can do and what he's doing right now, but I do feel that Enzo is one of the few players in this team that can do the one thing that we complain about all the time, which is one touch pass, one touch switch, just switch the game. Like he is one of the few players, Palmer's another one, that can be by Cucurella and find Malagusto on the right wing running in behind. Not many players in our team can do that.
can I ask this
Yeah,
question?
but
I'm gonna put my finger up. I'm gonna
But we
Prime, let me
also
speak here.
waste that a lot.
Prime, I'm speaking, bro. 1 second, yeah. I think for me, my issue with that take is that yes, there's been times where he's done it, but has he been able to do that on a semi-consistent basis?
It's hard to
That's
say
what-
because he's been playing as a 10 most of the season.
But
He does-
whenever
I
he,
remember last
yes,
year, that
well,
got
because-
wasted a lot more, Ahmed.
for me, the point I'm trying to make though is that last year, as Prime is saying, when we had to play in that role, yes, there'll be times where he'd be able to make those passes, but we don't even use that anymore for him, right? Maresca's essentially stripped him down, to his basic, to just a basic box midfielder. I'm actually not even cooking him here. I'm talking about what the manager's made him into. There's a difference. That's I think a key difference, and I think the reason why for that is that when he's played these other roles, he's looked weaker, bro. He has looked weaker fundamentally speaking, and that is also the other reality of the situation too. And so for me, it becomes a question of
By the way,
can I improve? And this is the hot take I'm going to give you. Can you improve that ability in the system of what Maresca gives you in terms of the box crashing stuff, right? And maybe being a bit more of a defender there. And I would say, yes, there's an argument to be made. You can improve on that, bro. I hate to say it like this, but there is a fundamental argument to be made that you can improve on what Enzo gives you box crashing wise. If that's all you want, if that's all you want,
Yeah, we need a.
you can be better defensively too. You can be better defensively too.
I don't even think like you could fix all of
I
this.
think we need a better athlete. We need to improve him by getting a better athlete at doing that. And
I'll be
I
honest,
just
man.
think-
Gallagher's available.
No, fuck Gallagher. I think honestly, like we've touched on it earlier, but I think the easiest fix on all of this is just play a midfield free. Like if that means you need to go and get another midfielder or like replace one of these other dudes because they can't stay fit, or you need to go and replace your right back because Reece James is now going to play in midfield. That's cool.
Mhm.
Like that's fine. But if
Oh, Reece can
if
do
you-
it too. The switch, by the way, I just realized that. Go ahead.
yeah, like
Yeah,
if,
we
you
waste
need to put
those.
Palmer on the
How many
right hand
times
side.
did we switch on Marshall? Do you not notice that
Huh?
last season? Enzo would. The first time I noticed it is when we played City last year, first game of the season. Those switches Enzo would make, I just get wasted. When I started to we waste those switch balls, so that's probably.
But that's why,
doesn't
like,
do them as much.
for example, like when Scott's
I'm not gonna
criticizing
bother to
Enzo,
spam it, it gets wasted.
but that's what I mean. Like when Scott is criticizing Enzo Fernandez for yesterday's game as a deep lying playmaker, sure, you can have the criticisms, but at the same time, I'm looking at who's on the receiving end of the playmaking. And to be fair, our wingers were shit. I specifically remember a beautiful pass from Cole Palmer to Garnacho, and Garnacho takes a heavy touch and loses it. And I'm like, bro, he gave that to you on your feet, and then you took a horrible touch.
Also, when Cole
It's
Palmer
not about the
came up-
passing yesterday. It's the fact that he sucks in the first phase of play because he doesn't bother scanning or doesn't bother understanding. Like you look at the way Jorginho or specifically this
I don't know if that's true.
he
But yeah,
he
go
doesn't.
ahead.
Look at the way
It's not because
Zubamendi
Jorginho
played this
do
season, what he does in the first phase of play, and it is night and day between what Enzo Fernandez does. Not only
What's
that, he has
funny
no
though
idea.
is-
He has no idea how
remember
to
the
see
6
play out
months?
from deep areas.
You know, remember the
There's no-
first 6 months Enzo had when he joined? That's the best
One
for me
example.
I've seen of Enzo. When he
That's
That's
all
plays,
why,
we're never
like,
going back. We are
that's
never
a-
seeing that Enzo again.
yeah.
We're never seeing that Enzo
I
again.
know,
And
I know that, and that is my problem. He
But
doesn't
here's
really
the
do
thing.
that.
I don't
It-
think you
but-
can do that again. Not.
But
not
the thing
with
is,
this-
like,
this
I
thing.
think here's the thing. Like, one of the biggest issues I had with this club, and first of all, I'll say this, Prime, and you probably agree with me on this. If we had developed and built off of that method of playing Enzo, I guarantee you this fan base would be bitching and moaning of the fact that he doesn't have any GNA. Now that he has GNA, no one's complaining about Enzo. But we're seeing that Enzo is capable of doing a lot more because we're smart and we know that midfielders aren't heavily reliant on GNA, right? We can have that chat and analysis.
Rival fans would complain. Chelsea fans wouldn't complain of that version of Enzo.
I completely disagree with you. Ask Kovacic, ask Jorginho. Now, one of the biggest issues I have with the way we went about this is that if we had, in that first season, if we had Jorginho and Enzo Fernandez, bro, perfect balance. Because one thing I didn't like about the swapping of Enzo Fernandez to Jorginho was the fact that Enzo is not going to give you the defensive abilities that Jorginho does. Mind you, Ahmed, I disagree with you on the whole height thing. Jorginho and Enzo were the same exact height. It's just ability. Jorginho had a better reading of the game defensively, and he would be able to dispossess opponents and all that. Enzo Fernandez just doesn't do that. He's always been an attack-minded player. So,
Jorginho was not that great.
I remember, Jorginho had honed skill set.
Jorginho was great defensively. Do not disrespect Jorginho. What are we doing?
Jorginho defensively was a 5 out of 10. That's my point, by the way.
Jorginho had honed that skill he'd mastered that skill set being taught by Sarri. He'd honed that skill set. So when he came to this league, usually players of that sort of ability and that frame, they struggle in the first year. He didn't struggle, or at least not nearly as much as he probably should have, because of just how good he is on the ball and reading, and also the system Sarri had, which protected him. And also he played with
Jorginho is my boy, by the way.
Yeah, Marshall, what Chelsea fans hated Kova because he wasn't getting GA. Jorginho, Chelsea fans didn't like
many
Jorginho,
Chelsea fans. Guys, okay, I'm just going to settle this right here. Panel. You guys have been with me for a while, and we've done multiple shows.
There was Chelsea fans being weird to Kovacic.
Yeah, Chris.
No, but like, was that a consensus in the family?
No, I'm not saying Ahmed was, but like, you guys on the panel were here when we had these discussions. Prime, you were here too. I don't know how you're forgetting this.
Was that a consensus in the fan base that people didn't like?
Yes.
Was that a consensus?
Yes. They didn't like.
No. People are saying Kovacic fell off. People are saying Kovacic fell off.
What does he offer? That's what people say.
No. Because I remember under Tuchel, people before we that 6 month run before.
This is so disrespectful to Jorginho. I should time you out just for saying this.
That's crazy take. That's a crazy take.
That is an insane take. You guys don't deserve happiness if you can't even appreciate Jorginho.
He's trolling.
But that's like me saying Kante's not good. He played with Matic and Pogba. Can I say that? Is that acceptable?
No. So I want to actually make a point here real quickly, about Jorginho and then Kovacic. Yeah, Jorginho is my guy. But like the thing that Jorginho was much better than Enzo was the passing lane situation. He was able to read pass lanes thing and stuff like that, because his whole stick was, I'm a passer, I'm a deep line playmaker, bro. That was, so for me, that always made sense of Jorginho. That's why I always understood his thing. Enzo does not even do the passing lane situation thing. If he could do that, by the way, I can't lie to you, he could play that role really well for us in the league.
Yeah, facts.
Wait,
right?
Ahmed, do you think he can't do that, or we just don't play that way?
No, he can't do it.
He can't do that, I think, because the reason why I say that is, go ahead, bro.
Another question, right? If we say the summer that we just ended, if we bought, when did we buy Jorginho? 2018. If we bought 2018 Jorginho in this team, where would he play?
So he would play defense, like he'd play alongside. You know how Lavia plays?
You'd be where Lavia plays, actually. Yeah, he would be.
I don't know how Lavia plays. I don't see him, but okay.
So you know, like last year, where Lavia was playing the sixes and shit, and then Caicedo was a box-to-box entry pass. If that makes sense, that's what would happen.
Yeah. Jorginho would be the deepest mid. The same Jorginho that people talk about how he's defensively liable and he's too skinny for the Prem and he's frail. That
Jorginho was one of the best possession midfielders in the league.
The thing about
possession-based team.
Exactly.
I agree with you. And people still said he was bad.
Like
Yeah.
I am so baffled that
problem
even
with-
3 years after his departure, this chat is disrespecting
The
Jorginho.
problem
Nothing
with
changed.
Jorginho-
Nothing has changed.
I will always maintain
You may as well start
Jorginho.
saying
The
fuck
Jorginho
five,
problem
I
was
know.
always
It's like I
was-
feel like I'm back in 2021.
I think the Jorginho problem, at least from a team perspective, was always, at least in my personal opinion, was that the guys that were around him weren't good enough. That's always was. Big up to my boy Kante, right? But Kante obviously
Was
when he
never
next-
available.
Never available. Kovacic,
Thank you.
Kovacic
Wait.
was also never available. Let's keep it real. Before people started questioning his ability, yeah, people were cooking him.
Bro,
because he was never
Kovacic and
available.
Conte were taking turns on the med table. Jorginho was the
Exactly.
most reliable player.
Legit, that's what I guess. Jorginho needs to be the steady Eddie of the team, essentially. But like,
I was
listen,
doing
let's-
Kante's
but,
let's go.
but like,
Look
listen,
at
let's
this.
remove the.
Jorginho
Yeah.
needed Conte just like Enzo needs Caicedo.
The difference is though, Jorginho can still be competent as a six by himself. That's
Yeah.
the difference. Okay, now listen, let's move on from listen. Let's move on from J5 and the situation. Let's actually go back to the conversation about Enzo. My problem is gonna be that if you look at the other midfielder that we've got in the team, which is
You guys
Andre
are
Santos,
ridiculous.
right? If you look at Andre Santos, right? Andre Santos is technically meant to be the Enzo backup in the team, right? He's meant to be the box crusher of the team, essentially, right? Which is the one to play him. And I think at times, if you look at the way Andre plays, obviously he's not ready yet. He still needs time. I think sort of like set into the team and everything like that. So you've got that problem there. So even if I was to sit and then and then the thing for me is that if you look at the game against Leeds, where it was him, Enzo, and Santos. Santos was on an island by himself, bro, dying, legit, dying, bro. He was underwater.
Sorry to cut into your point.
Go
That's
ahead, man.
literally what happened in the Bournemouth game with Reece. He
Legit,
left
that's
him
what
on
I'm
an
saying.
island to die. But I'm sorry, like, and this is what I said. Like, if you want to get again, I'll go back to it. If we're going to get the best out of Enzo Fernandez on a consistent basis, you need to play a midfield three, or you need to not play him. Simple as that. Or you're just going to get inconsistent performances where some games you'll get an incredible performance from Enzo, and then sometimes you'll get performances like you did against Leeds and like you did against what's it called, Bournemouth.
The
If you're
thing
happy
is,
with that, you're happy with basically having a 60 million pound midfielder who's a box crasher. That's cool. I'm not.
Scott,
Like-
the thing for me is that there's another. So before you go, I'm gonna add a little point, and then it's all yours. Yeah. The other thing is, yeah, I remember last year when we played better of Lavia in the six, and it was
Yep.
Caicedo. And
Yeah.
The reason why that worked because the balance in the team worked. Right,
Oh,
Caicedo
yeah.
could come back. Lavia could do that job, right, of being defensively great, but also making those passes when necessary, right?
Nah, you guys
And
are
everything,
fucking. You're trolling
everything
me
like
now.
that.
You're trolling
People
me
doing
now.
too much.
Okay,
People doing too
let's-
much.
You guys are
stupid
trolling me
stuff.
now. You guys
All
are
right,
trolling me now.
listen. Let's not focus on the comments.
Yeah,
But
I'm
like,
sorry. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah,
Just-
but
I
that's the
love
point I'm trying to
Jorginho.
make. That the balance is there. The problem with us right now is that we are literally asking our six to be the Kante plus. And when the Kante plus is not there, aka Caicedo, you are in trouble because
Yeah.
we don't have the depth of a Caicedo to do that role, and so you're in a situation where you cannot do that at all, bro. And so for me, when you don't have this is another one of the club. What happens when you don't have Caicedo? Right? What happens when you don't have Caicedo, Marshall?
This is another thing, by the way.
Well, you're seeing it right now.
I was about to say the another thing with the like I was gonna say because I've in the past tried to argue against the whole Caicedo holds Enzo's hand because there have been games where he's performed where Caicedo hasn't played there, but the
Yeah.
last two games especially are damning in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah.
for that argument of like without Caicedo to hold his hand, Enzo Fernandez looks exposed. Which like I'm gonna be honest again, and I've had this conversation about perception before. If we're meant to consider Enzo Fernandez one of the best midfielders in his position in the world, if we're meant to consider him, you know,
Can't believe we're agreeing.
a £100 million player, a top level player, you can't need to have another midfielder holding your hand to be able to be that level. You're not elite if you need someone to consistently hold your hand on a consistent basis next to you. You're not an elite player. Sorry.
So
No. I
wait,
just have
Scott.
good
So are you
respect for
saying that
Jorginho.
getting another player to like say unlock Enzo or whatever, it's not that means Enzo's not good.
You remember the joke we used to say about certain people?
Ahmed, stop. Hold on. Let's Scott answer the question. Yes.
He's a good player. He's not an elite player. Like you can still be a good player and do that. Like J5 was a very good player.
No, I know. No, I'm just saying like so. We need another player to unlock him. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying you need to play a midfield free. Whether that means you have to buy another midfielder, whether you have to play James, that's cool. That's literally what I said.
Hey, I hear it. La Bale Pogba. Anyways, yeah, with Enzo, listen, it's cool. Get rid of him. I just know what this fan base is like, and the revisionist history. People will start talking about, oh, look at him at Real Madrid. He's the best midfielder in the world. Clear Lake. Why did we sell him? So people now want to hate on. When I was telling you guys about Enzo like a year ago and I didn't like him, people said I was hating. But I'm like, I know what he is. We're not getting the best out of a Lambo. People are still saying, you know, oh, whatever. Cool. We'll get rid. And then people will now twist it again and be like, Maresca sold him. And this board and ownership. But whatever. Just, you know, just get me McTominay.
I do want to.
Get me McTominay.
I just want to address JC a little bit. Like this, like, because some of the stuff I'm seeing is nuts. Trying to say like that because Enzo Fernandez against Leeds was focusing on defense first means that he like couldn't be good going forward is some nonsense. Because again, he's meant to be £100 million box to box midfielder. Like, sorry, maybe I just expect more from my £100 million box to box World Cup winning midfielder. But maybe that's just me personally. I apologise. I expected too much. Secondly, if he was so focused on the defensive aspects of his game against Bournemouth, why is he picking up the ball on the edge of the box consistently, trying to pass out wide to the wingers or trying to shoot from the edge of the box? That doesn't sound like someone who's focused on defense first. Anyway.
Enzo is definitely going to be one to watch this season.
Also,
and go ahead, Prime.
IE1E 1338. That's not what I said. Shut up.
Listen, all I'll say is that I agree with Prime. When Enzo Fernandez leaves, we will probably understand what we had, and people will be revising history as they do. Unless it's Jorginho.
Like
you will not revise history because some of you guys still disrespect Jorginho. And like I said in my comment, it's no coincidence that Jorginho goes to Arsenal. Arsenal have their first legitimate title charge. And then he goes to Flamengo. And disrespect to the South American Libertadores and saying it's the equivalent of Saudi. Absolutely not. He won a Copa Libertadores, which is the equivalent of the Champions League here in Europe, in his first season at Flamengo. It's no coincidence that that's what Jorginho brings to the table. But you want to keep disrespecting Jorginho? Go ahead.
Jesus.
Go ahead.
That's 3 European trophies. Jorginho's great.
Yeah.
Or the Euros.
I think he's the only player that's won the South American, the Libertadores and Champions League.
Plus, he came third in Ballon d'Or.
And I can't with this chat. You guys are cooked.
You got hate for that though.
Georgie Ballon d'Or.
Georgie
Ballon d'Or.
I
Georgie
really
Ballon
wanted him to
d'Or.
win it that year. That'd be perfect.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Oh, yeah,
and don't get me wrong.
listen,
You guys are right? Like,
you know what,
listen.
guys?
You guys are right. Like the pairing of Kanté and Jorginho was magnificent. Kanté was brilliant, and he really did help Jorginho out a lot. But don't discredit everything that Jorginho brought to the table. He was good. He was a good player. Maybe did get caught sometimes and did make mistakes that were like Arsenal.
By the way,
that game.
Do you know how
I
bad
remember those knockout games. Hey, let's not pretend as if Jorginho didn't hold.
Also, let's not pretend that like
By the way,
these Brazilian teams were pretty good in the Club World Cup. Go ahead.
Everything that I was saying about Enzo yesterday or against Bournemouth in terms of like
I don't know if he's a legend, but yeah.
being a deep line playmaker. Do you know how bad it was that on the stream, the watch along stream, Russian Alex said he would rather have Jorginho in that game, or he'd rather have Jorginho.
He hates Jorginho.
Like, and I said that if that doesn't tell you how awful of a like deep line playmaker Enzo was in that game, nothing will.
Hey, Scott, maybe I should. So should I actually watch this?
That's fine, Iwani.
Was it bad?
If you want,
Yeah.
it was a snooze fest for the most part.
Highlights. I'm not seeing even the highlights.
There aren't any highlights.
There really isn't much. It was mostly a snooze fest.
We should have
But-
conceded like 3 goals. We didn't create
Yeah.
shit.
Sanchez saved us, Prime. Believe it or
I
not.
wouldn't say just Sanchez. Them.
Oh
missing
yeah, I
saved
was
us,
hearing
too.
Lewis say that Sanchez is a
Yeah.
man of the match. and
Literally,
that's
like
crazy.
Sanchez and Fofana were the only good players coming out of that game.
Did Bournemouth
Bro,
play
I'm
well?
not saying. What the hell
Yeah,
are we
Bournemouth
talking
did.
about?
Like
I sat
apart
here
from
and criticized Enzo too.
apart from their like final third play, like their last action let them down. Apart from that, like they were sensational.
missed
Like
some-
they weren't okay. Sensational is probably wrong. They were very good. Like they kept considering. By the way, they had a midfield, but bro, they started with 2 right backs playing. I think one of them playing midfield. They had a number 10 playing in the 6 because of injuries. All of their number 10 was a winger as well. At one point, their centre back went off, injured, so they brought a right back on to replace him. Yeah, they considering the injuries they had and everything, they played really well.
We got cooked then, Chris.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
I can't lie. Talking about Bournemouth just makes me want to talk about one player who I know we're going to get to. I can't wait.
So Scott, we both agree in the summer, get rid of Enzo and bring in
Not the Libertadores EPL.
I'm bringing in who?
bring in McSauce.
Nope.
Bring in Mick Chelsea. Mick Chelsea.
Nope.
Mick Chelsea.
Mick Chelsea great again.
What about Ampadu, man? He cooked us at Leeds.
Wait, hold on. a
No,
second.
on the okay.
They
Because we were
didn't,
linked
by
with
the way.
Fermin.
but-
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was
Do you-
Fluminense that won Libertadores last season.
What do you think of Fermin Lopez? Because we were linked to him in the summer. Do you think he would have?
He would have.
He can
No, he
replace
would have.
Enzo?
No, he
Botafogo
wouldn't.
won, yeah.
I was going to say I
Flamengo
watched
hadn't won
that final.
Libertadores since 2019, so you're
I was going
chatting
to say
shit.
I watched that final. I know who won Copa Libertadores last season.
Yeah.
Good game.
Scott, Fermin Lopez. What would he have just been back up to Palmer, or could he do what Enzo?
No, he'd have been in the Enzo position, but he doesn't help with the stuff I talked about earlier in terms of being the box to box, having the right balance with Caicedo, all of that stuff. Like he'd have just been the box crasher. Like he would have just been the stuff I'm talking about with Enzo. Which, by the way, just points out of like this whole box crashing thing with Enzo is like I don't need you to be £100 million midfielder to do that because I could get Fermin Lopez for half of your
Yeah,
price.
true.
It do the same fucking thing.
Yeah, which is players.
Yeah.
So you're saying instead
Um,
of 100,
Can we talk?
You're saying he's not £100 million Lambo. He's really a £100 million Nissan Micra. So just
Yeah, pretty much. Can we talk about the thug? Yeah, the MMA fighter.
Okay.
Thug.
Real quick, before we do talk on that, because I know Chris is gonna bounce at any moment, and I can't let you get away without doing what we have to do. And it's Chris's favorite category.
You don't need to go.
Oh, fuck
Sheep.
me.
Yeah, we
Oh,
need to.
the
We
new
must.
kids.
We must.
The sheep get a new kid.
This is apparently the kit leak that we have for next season. The Chelsea 2026-2027 away kit will combine a black base with a yellow applications, similar to the 2012-2013 season, based on the info designer JMFK has created in the early guess of the design. So this is an early prototype of what it could potentially look like. Peter is not going to like it, but I like it. I think it looks fucking dope. And here's another one. So apparently, Nike said 26-27 jersey, the retro jersey that we're going to have next season. I can't lie. If this is what it looks like, this is
I don't
fucking
believe
fire.
it. It's not gonna look like that.
This is what it's based off. If it looks like this, Chris, you would buy it.
I would buy it, but it's not happening.
Bro, the badge
No.
just reminds me of Sheffield Wednesday a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I like this. I like both these
I
kits.
do
a
like the
lot.
kit though.
Yeah.
Oh, that can't be fired, but it's not happening.
Okay, Chris. So much for being
Oh,
fucking
we're gonna leak
optimistic.
it in December. Like, okay.
I'm just saying, man. You see,
Brilliant kit,
Chris
but
is
we
such a
ain't-
harsh
we
critic,
ain't,
man.
We ain't about that, like,
We
style
ain't
of
about
kit.
that life. We don't even have the fucking the fucking sponsor on it. So,
Plus,
hey.
like, Palmer.
and this would look great with a
Bloody
sponsor,
Piper's not
but
that
yeah,
big,
we'll
though.
see. I don't think we're gonna have a sponsor next season either at this rate. So. This is the Chelsea that we currently support, people. This is the Chelsea we
give
currently
good
support.
kits.
Good kits, but no sponsors.
That's
It's
fair. Lately,
the
we
sacrifice we
some
must
good
make.
kits.
Yeah, it's absurd. So I do want to talk about Delap, but let's talk about some of the injuries that are involved in that, and then obviously we'll transition from that
Do you know
to
how long
talking
he's
about
out for?
Jackson because that's another talking point. So what's up, Chris?
Do you know how long he's out for?
Yes, I do. All right, so let's get into
Not
it.
long
Let's
enough.
talk about some of this
Not long
stuff.
enough, damn.
So, first things first, earlier at the end of
That's-
last month, Enzo Maresca said that Dario Sugo took part in this training session and he was ready to come back. But unfortunately, a few earlier this week, we got news that Dario Sugo is set to miss the next 3 Chelsea matches after a small setback. So, probably available on the bench next week. We will see. Enzo Maresca said that Dario Sugo for sure he's not available for the next 3 league games. We need to check him. Is it serious? I don't think so. Unfortunately, it was just yesterday, so I don't know how bad the setback is. On Moises Caicedo, the one thing to mention here, Moises Caicedo came out in an interview and said that he feels pain sometimes. I've been playing with pain, but I'm not going to stop until I break. I never give up. I get used to playing like this. So Moises Caicedo playing through injury, as we kind of already assumed. He is gone. He is out for the next game.
We had the person
next
who basically
Everton?
did that.
Yeah, after Everton, he's back.
We had
So that's
Kante doing that till we break, and what happened
yeah,
afterwards?
yeah. I don't know
We
about
need to
that.
rest that fucker, but like Lavia.
I agree. Because Lavia, here's another one with Lavia. Maresca said in a presser for Bournemouth that we don't know when Romeo Lavia can be back. It's a muscle problem. We don't know whether it's long or short term, that's not what you want to hear. So Lavia also out indefinitely, which is not good. So on to Liam Delap, and I'm sure we'll talk on Lavia as well. Liam Delap is now back sitting on the bench and looks like he has his arm in a sling under his coat in yesterday's game. And then this morning we got this news that Liam Delap is facing another 6 to 8 weeks out with a shoulder injury suffered against Bournemouth. Okay, one more thing to mention here on the injury situation. Maresca and Levi Colwill and Romeo Lavia. I speak with both of them. I didn't see the players. They traveled to Leeds on Thursday, but I saw Levi and had a chat with him. Unfortunately, because they are injured, they are always in the building. So for me, there is always a greater chance to see them, both of them. But yeah, Delap out for 6 to 8 weeks with an injury. But Scott, I think you had some choice words you wanted to mention, so I'll let you start off this topic.
Good fucking riddance. I don't care.
What
Like,
happened?
bro, he dislocated his shoulder because he was trying to wrestle someone and lost.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait,
I'm not
did he
even
do that
joking,
though?
by
I
the
thought the
way.
player landed on him.
No. He
Well,
tried
he
to
was
wrestle.
wrestling with Senesi, and then
He tried
Senesi
to
landed on
wrestle
him.
the centre back, the Bournemouth centre back, on a corner. Which, by the way, he'd spent the entire game up until this point just wrestling with players, kicking out of players,
I mean,
doing
he
his
was getting
usual
bodied
thuggery.
himself then.
Like, he was doing his usual bullshit. Yeah, he was like, he'd lose every challenge and roll around on the floor in the mud. He would then, when he had the chance to actually do something, just fight people like he usually does. Kicked out with one player, surprised didn't get a yellow card. And then, yeah, he again at a corner tries to wrestle Senesi, loses, and dislocates his shoulder. So, like, good. I'm glad you're out 6 to 8 weeks. Stop fucking trying to wrestle people. Like, you literally injured yourself because you're just wrestling people for no reason. So I don't care. Should be longer. Sell him, man. Get rid of him. He's actually trash. He's so bad. Like, he's so bad. It's unreal. Like, he's
He hasn't actually
fucking
showed
bad.
anything like in those 6 games he's played. He's not really showed a lot. Like even like his movement, like in the box, hasn't been that great. His strength, his hold up, hasn't been great. He hasn't had a lot of chances, but that's like his movement's not been good enough. Like the chances that we crossed into the 6-yard box, he's not there to be seen. But yeah, like he was out 6-8 weeks last time, right? As well. Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm thinking, does he go 0 GA this season?
Yep.
This rate?
He doesn't get 10.
He might not get 5.
Yeah. So we're wishing injuries on our players or celebrating injuries on our players, Scott? So we're doing that now?
Yeah.
I kind of just don't care with him because I don't celebrate injuries in terms of like if he'd have dislocated his shoulder with like from something like happening outside of his control, I wouldn't be like this. But yeah, I am if it's you're going to cause it. because it's because he's doing the stupid shit in terms of wrestling. So yeah, 100%. I'm gonna like not celebrate it, but I'm gonna be like, you deserved it.
Nah, fair. I hear that, but you know, this guy's meant to be the next Harry Kane, guys. So you know, yeah.
He's so shit, man.
Yeah.
I swear rivals say that a lot too.
Guys, no. England fans said that.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done. The next Harry Kane. This guy's a better option to get than, you know, an Osimhen or another proven striker. You know, this guy's, you know, better than. Is what it is. Don't worry. He'll be at West Ham or Coventry soon.
Do you know what the funniest thing about this is as well with that injury? He's probably killed his Chelsea career with that, because all it probably means with how little, or I say how little, with how unready, I don't know if that's a word, he looks, because he was tragic when he came on as well, and with how out of form João Pedro is, there's a good chance, I think they not necessarily accelerate the transfer, but they could bring Omega in on loan in January. If they do that, Delap's career at Chelsea is finished. It's finito.
A lot for Delap either. It'd be easy to move.
I think that's really premature.
I don't
Hey,
think
Scott, remember when the window ended?
At that stage, unless you're going to move João Pedro to the backup 10, which we've already seen he's been shit in the 10, so like I don't really want that to happen. He's not really a 9 either, but like who knows what he is at this point. Let's say João Pedro is a 9. That means Delap is the third choice striker in this team when Omega gets in. When is he playing?
Mm-hmm.
The answer to that question is never. Cup competitions against Cardiff and these guys, which like cool,
Maybe.
you might get a goal here or there, but he is basically going to get no opportunities to be able to prove himself in the league. He's going to get no opportunities to prove himself in the Champions League or on a high stage. He's going to get very little time to actually show if he's improved or not. So it means in a year's time or a year and a half's time, he'll be sold. The same way Madueke was, and the same way everyone else was. So like cool.
Scott,
He's gone.
Remember when the window ended, and it seemed like a few days later, we went and bought Omega, and there was all talk about, we were all having discussions about, are we gonna recall Omega in January and fuck up Strasbourg season? This is before Panicelli started firing goals for them. So it looks like maybe we're gonna. Wouldn't it be funny if we recall Omega and we give them Mark U or something? That'd be funny.
He wouldn't be able to play for them though.
Oh yeah, he can't play. Never mind. So we just recall.
So, like the thing is though, they could easily like
you don't have to sell someone because of the PSR thing.
Oh, potentially, but like maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how it works with like when it's in the season. But like with the Strasbourg thing, I reckon they could replace him in terms of like his spot in the team, because like they just start Panicelli all the time rather than rotating him and what's it called? Him and Omega. That Joe Fofana's not a bad shout. They could just sell him to Strasbourg and there you go, problem solved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the thing like they could do that, because I don't think Panicelli cost them that much. I want to say he was only like a few million, so they could do that as well. He is, but they've also then got Sarr as the vice captain. He was having to be the captain like earlier in the season when Omega was injured, so they could just do that. But yeah, like, I don't think it's that much of an issue.
Recalled Antonino. Is that the centre back you recall?
Oh, I don't think we recall any. I don't think we touched centre back in the summer. Sorry, in January.
Oh,
I don't think we do anything.
Okay.
I think I'll be honest. If it wasn't for the Delap injury, I don't think we do a single transfer in January.
Yeah,
I think the only transfer we do is bring Omega in on loan for 6 months before we sign
anything within the system. I don't think we're spending any money.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I think we could bring in Omega early, and then literally they just have to buy someone. They could buy for Thatcher Fofana, or they could buy some other random dude from like the Polish league or something. I don't know. So I think they can make it work in that sense. It's just like I don't know how the PSR stuff works, or like the UEFA restrictions work in the middle of the season. But yeah, like I don't really care. Like I said, the whole Delap thing, he's been so bad. The fact that he isn't even showing me levels over Mark Hugh is just like, where he's not even showing me levels. Actually, fuck that. He's not showing me levels for Broja, when he was here. Like he's doing nothing. He wrestles every game. His touch reeks. His link-up play reeks. He's not scoring on the limited chance he's getting, which he was doing for Ipswich. So part of the reason we bought him, or part of the reason why I was like okay with us buying him, was because that he was getting limited chances at Ipswich, and you'd hope that that could scale up in terms of even if he got limited chances here or he got slightly more chances, and would miss a couple more, he'd still get a decent return anyway. He's not. Yeah. Like his mentality is shocking. Yeah, like get rid of him, man. Like I'm so done with getting these former City academy players.
Big up Boston Guns. Good idea. Everyone in the chat, if you haven't done so already, be sure to smash that like button. And to answer your question, HA, I'm not a Delap fanboy. However, I do like to be fair. Whether it be Delap, whether it be Sanchez last season or the season before that, whether it be freaking Hakeem Ziyech 4 seasons ago. I just like to be fair because I feel like a lot of us in the Chelsea fan base like to be premature when it comes to our takes on a bunch of things. And I feel like with Delap, we're making the same exact mistake. Now, whether Delap will be good enough for Chelsea is yet to be seen. As of right now, I'm not convinced. And I don't disagree necessarily with Scott that he could go. Like, I am not convinced. I don't like the attitude issues. I feel like we're just getting a worse version or worse attitude issues than what we had with Jackson, which we'll talk about right now or right after this. I feel that in terms of what you can provide outside of goals and assists, I'm not seeing much in terms of the best thing I've seen from Delap is, okay, you can hold up a little bit of a long ball when it comes, but what you do with it afterwards, your decision making is poor. But at the same time, I said this last season, one thing that worries me about Liam Delap, and I think Scott alluded to this, one thing that worries me about Liam Delap is, cool, you got a pretty good amount of goals from a relegated side, which is impressive on paper, yes. But how does that translate, if at all, to a team that is, when you play against Chelsea, you don't play against Chelsea the way you play against Ipswich. It changes everything. What happens when you have to face low blocks? Can Liam Delap be that answer? Can he actually perform against low blocks? It's a different team. It's a different dynamic. Now, to be fair to Liam Delap, besides the fact that he's 22, he's still very young. Like, time will tell. We'll see what happens with his career. He hasn't even played 500 minutes this season. And that's the part that, okay, what I've seen so far has not been great. But also, he played against LAFC in Club World Cup. Then he played against Tunisia, I believe. Came off the bench and almost scored against PSG. And that's really it. I think maybe there's another game he started in Club World Cup. He's not played much with the team. What
about this season?
He got one start this season, one start against West Ham, and then came off the bench against Crystal Palace and Fulham before he got injured. And then ever since then, he's been regaining the minutes, and then he's finally started, and he's not been looking good.
I mean, he started like 5 games, I think, in the Premier League this season.
1, 2, 3,
up to, like, after halftime, without getting
4, maybe 5 if Karabakh counts there.
No,
but yeah, he's had 5 starts all season in all competitions. So I think there's an adaptation period. Not for the Premier League. He's adapted to the Premier League, but an adaptation to Enzo Maresca's system, which we've seen many players struggle with Enzo Maresca's system.
No. He doesn't get that grace. Same with Gittins. They played the system before.
I don't think the system that Maresca played at the youth level is the same that we're seeing here in the Premier League. And I can't vouch for that 100%.
Why have we bought all these Manchester City youth players?
Because they're familiar with playing with one another. That's the long and short of it. Not necessarily in the system. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Maresca, when he was learning and earning his stripes, was playing the same exact way he was playing now. I think he's adapted his system a lot more. It's different. I don't know. I wasn't watching Man City back then, but
no, the fundamentals are the same. Because you know how Pep, he was the one who introduced inverted fullbacks into the Prem, right? The reason why Pep started doing that was because it was something Maresca was using at academy level, and Pep was like, "That's interesting. Let's start doing that." So
when was Maresca in Demand City? Like what years?
I don't remember.
Because that'll dictate very much the type of football that Pep was playing in that time. Because you're right, there is a pipeline.
It was around the time when they had Cancelo.
Also, Marshall, even, I don't know, Prime might be right, I don't know if he is. Even if he's not, as just say, the thing I can say about, because I completely forgot this with Pep and with his football, because this was the case of Bayern Munich as well, the youth teams play the exact same football that he does in the first 11.
Yeah, and that football, to be fair, was without a striker, because I'm looking at it right now. Maresca led the elite development squad to their first Premier League 2 title in 2020-2021. That was the season where he was playing false nine Phil Foden. It wasn't even playing Kun Aguero anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, this is kind of where I'm getting at. Like, he's not doing that. Well, to an extent, he kind of is with João Pedro right now. But, like, I don't know. Even that, like, maybe not. But it's just, I don't think it's, I don't think he's playing the same system he played when he was at the youth setup. But I do think there is a kind of like,
fundamentals.
I think there is a transition period to like adapt to that. Listen, I agree with all the criticism. I'm not going to, the year I'm seeing right here was 2020, 2021. I think that was the year we won the Champions League. I always fuck it up. It's 2019-20 or 2020-2021. I think that was 2020-2021. He rejoined Manchester City on 2022 as an assistant coach under Pep. But he was in the youth setup, it looks like, the season before that.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, they won the 2020-2021 is the one you think, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Which is like 4 years ago.
Would you like
5
to
years
know
ago.
who the top goal scorer was that season?
Was it Delap? In the U23s or?
Yes, in the U23s. It was Liam Delap.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I'm willing, because even Maresca said it. He's catching up. He's trying to speed up the whole getting him used to the system thing. I'm willing to wait to the end of the season to determine whether or not he's been a waste of time or not. But as of right now, I'm not enjoying the football I'm watching from him. And I think I'd much prefer Nicholas Jackson, which brings us to the next topic on Nicholas Jackson. And we have discussed Nicholas Jackson on the show before, but let's catch up the chat who maybe hasn't been here for those conversations. So let's catch up with Nicholas Jackson. Let's see what's been going on lately. I have had some topics here on Nicholas Jackson saved for a while, so let's get a little bit up to speed to what's going on with Jackson. And to be fair, bear with me, chat. I think a lot of these tweets are kind of repeating the same thing. So back in September 21st, Fabrizio Romano was saying here that the feeling around Nicholas Jackson and Chelsea is that Jackson won't play for Chelsea ever again. The story is over. Fabrizio's been saying this since the 21st. We go back here as well. The feeling is Jackson is that the feeling at Chelsea is that with Nicholas Jackson over, Omega will take the place of that kind of striker. Also, in terms of skills, obviously they are not the same kind of player, but Chelsea see big potential, and that's why they prepared the deal. And they're not the same player. Breaking. Graham Bailey said this in October. Bayern have already informed Nicholas Jackson and his agent Ali Barat and Damonzi Kamara that they intend on keeping him on a permanent move next summer. That's even if the obligation appearances are not met on his loan. That was early in October, and then later on we get different news. Chelsea considered buying replacement for Nicholas Jackson in the final 48 hours of the window, but negotiations with Bayern continue. But they opted against it, partly because at the late stage, there was no standout candidate. That was coming from The Athletic. Now, fast forward to a few weeks ago, Athletic came out with this. There is next to no chance of Nicholas Jackson fulfilling the obligations necessary to make Bayern move permanent. 40 starts in all competitions. or Bayern choosing to sign him without a major renegotiation of the pre-agreed £57 million fee. Chelsea have no interest in changing their conditions. Fabrizio Romano verifying that Nico Jackson is ready to fight till the end to stay at Bayern. He's very happy there, but eventually, if it is not going to be Bayern next season, I'm told that there are already several clubs attentive to the situation because Jackson will be on the market and he is not going to stay at Chelsea. Nicholas Jackson's obligation deal conditions will no longer be possible due to his current minutes alongside AFCON. In any case, Jackson and Chelsea is over. Chelsea signed Omega from Strasbourg, so Jackson is not in their plans. Now, my 2 cents on this before, Scott or Prime or Chris hop in on this. I said this last season, and I hold to it. Whether Jackson left or not didn't bother me. And to be fair, when Club World Cup came around and he got that red card again, I did say that Jackson's time at Chelsea is probably done and that he cannot be the striker that we rely on going forward. That doesn't mean that he isn't a good player or he didn't have a use in the team, but he did become a liability. I understand that. There's a good player there. I think I've said this multiple times. I think me and Prime have talked about this deliberately. Even with Ahmed, we've had these discussions about what Jackson can be in this team and how good he could potentially come out to be, especially when he was on scintillating form in the beginning or this time last season. There's a good player there, but the issue is the man cannot finish for the life of him. And that was the biggest issue we'd had for him. But at least he provided build-up. He helped hold up play. He helped to, dribble past players, create a little bit. Like, he did bring more to the table, but he was never going to be the answer. Maybe down the line he could be an elite player, but in an attacking position, but maybe not as a striker. Now, Liam Delap, yes, he is technically a better striker, but the output's not there. He's got better technique on the ball in terms of shooting ability. Other than that, though, I feel like Jackson was giving me more. And now you're seeing the revisionism on the TL of people saying, bring Jackson back in January, do all this and that. This player doesn't want to come back. And Chelsea apparently don't want him back either. So he's not a better striker. I mean, in terms of the technical ability to actually strike the ball. Jackson was horrible at striking the ball. I think Delap was a much better shooter of the ball, and I think he just had more striking abilities, or at least well-rounded tool to be a striker. But who knows? I could be probably totally completely wrong and waffling. But yeah, I mean, would you guys take Jackson back? Is this revisionism on Jackson merited? Is it too much? Are we talking from a point of desperateness? I don't know. What do you guys think on this whole situation?
I would take Jackson back in a sense of to be a squad player, but I don't think he the way I look at the whole Jackson thing is he is better than what we've got. We've not improved on him. It's been either a downgrade in Delap's case or a sideways move in João Pedro's case, but he wasn't the answer. I think you can say we haven't improved on him while also saying that he wasn't the answer. He wasn't good enough as well. But yeah, if there was a way you could bring him back as a backup and whatnot, I'd be cool with that. But he can't be the starter. They need to actually fix the problem. Yeah, I think the issue or the revisionism of Jackson, and this always happens. This happened with Pulisic. This happened with other players. Is when you buy players that are worse or are sideways moves, you're going to get this because you've spent shit money. You spent unnecessary money on players that you didn't need to buy. And we've done this with the whole attack, by the way. I watched Matisse's match reaction to the Bournemouth game, and I mentioned this on Lewis's stream earlier. I
haven't had a chance.
I'm getting more and more vexed with the attack in this team more than anything else, more than the defense, because with the defense, right, as bad as it is, there are some things you can say and you can not legislate for, but you can make excuses, and there is an argument you can make of you've got your best centre back, in my opinion, out for the whole season, right? He's gone for the whole season. Your second best centre back in the team, and those two centre backs are of a level unto themselves compared to everyone else, is heavily injury prone and needs to have his minutes managed so you can keep him as fit as possible for the whole season. So in effect, you are down to having your third and sometimes fourth choice centre back playing on a regular basis, who aren't really good enough. Right? They can have good games, but they aren't really good enough. And then we're looking at sometimes having our fifth choice centre back play who absolutely reeks and whatever. We just didn't invest anything in that area. We should have done. We just didn't do anything. You actively invested in the attack. You bought 2 new left wingers, and you bought 2 new strikers, and you loaned in a number 10 who's fucking useless, and we don't talk about him. You spent 170 million, I think it was. I think it was 170 million on 4 players who absolutely reek at the moment. Like, Richarlison has more goals than everyone on our team outside of what's it called? Neto. And I think he's got the same amount of GNA total as Pedro Neto in the league this season. Tottenham Hotspur have the same amount of goals as us this season, and no one rates their attack. Like, this attack stinks, and they actually invested money and tried to make it better, and instead bought shit. But like that, I'm just vexed because like you, and this is where we go back to the conversation I had earlier about the left back. I'm watching what they're doing, trying to replace some of these players who aren't good in this team, the likes of Jackson, who wasn't good enough in terms of long term and whatever. Noni, Mudryk, whoever, right? They can't replace the shit players. I'm expecting them to replace one of the best players in our team. Nope. So yeah, I'm just like this whole attack is just a mess. Like, our whole attack is not good. Our whole attack is not consistent in terms of as a unit. Like, you'll have one person who has a good game, then you have another person who has a good game in the attack, then it's another person. So it looks like the attack as a whole is consistent because I don't know, Enzo might get a goal or Neto might get a goal or whatever. But as a totality and as a like game by game basis, our attack is not consistent and is not good. Also, just on this comment, like I said,
Just realized I was
yes,
muted.
with
My bad.
third,
Go ahead.
We're third, tied with Spurs, who have spent
Are we
most
really
of
tied
the
with Spurs?
season. Yes, for goals scored in the Premier League, we're tied with Spurs. If their goal yesterday, their third one, hadn't been disallowed, they'd have been ahead of us. This is despite the fact that no Spurs fan rates their attacking play under Frank. He's too pragmatic. This is despite the fact that no one rates the Spurs attackers. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying to an extent. Like, I feel like with the defense, yeah, we knew what to expect. We knew, well, you guys knew. I learned a little later in the season, right? To be completely honest and transparent about this. I fuck you. I overrated the defense over the summer. I was, I drank the Kool-Aid, to say, right? And say that again, Prime, you cut out. I just didn't think losing Levi Colwill would impact our title charge, because everyone was saying, "Oh, we can't challenge for the title without Levi. We don't have a good enough defense. We need to replace him." I thought we'd be fine. I thought we'd find internal solutions. And although defensively we've looked better in recent games, Tosin is looking to be like the weakest link and really, really dragging down a lot of our defenders. Without Fofana in his team, I do think we drastically, lower the quality in the defense. And I think he's really been helping a lot. So we're relying on Fofana.
That's the problem.
But I think to
either can't stay fit or just gives us enough. Tosin plays against us. We have 2 guys that are unplayable, and one of those 2 is not the teenager or Chalobah, who are both ticking time bombs in terms of performances. And the best center back we have, Fofana's gonna hurt himself any week now. We have a lot of potential at that position, and to be honest, as a collective for the season, they haven't been worse than I thought they would. I think they've probably been a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. At least since Fofana's come back, they've looked a lot better.
No, I just think over the balance of the season, relative to how I thought this could look without Colwill, I would have accepted this if you offered me 7 clean sheets or whatever in 15 games, I would have accepted this back in August.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, had I known. But I think to Scott's point, like, and mind you, I do think, considering last game was the first game this season where we haven't scored a goal.
That's
And
not true. We didn't score against Palace.
Wait, so what the hell did I see
I don't
earlier?
know
There
what
was a
you read,
stat
but
that said,
we don't know to open the season.
man, I got lied to. Fuck me.
Oh,
All right, well, thank you, Pete. You reminded me. Yeah, that's true. We didn't score a goal against Palace. But yeah, I think those are the only 2 games where we didn't score a goal in the Prem. I have been disappointed with the attack in terms of no one was saying what, let's say, for example, Musfa was saying. Nope, we can't win the league with this attack. With his attack, I don't think anyone was saying that at the beginning of the season.
I was.
Really?
Yeah.
For the same point I raised yesterday, you have no proven quality in attack. We lack elite center backs and elite center forwards, and we have a question mark in goal, who, to his credit, has played way better than any of us realistically expected to this point. You could not have asked for more than Sanchez. It's like he balled up all of his terrorist acts and just unleashed them at Old Trafford, and that was it. Out of his system. Like, you could not have expected more of Sanchez this season. But as far as our attackers, like, Gittins had 8 goals in Bundesliga. Neto's career high league season's like 6.
Pete, he's currently on a career high as we stand.
This is his current career high.
Okay. Esteval, best one, but he's a teenager and played in Brazil. Garnacho, I think his career high for a league season's like 6.
It's 9, I think.
Garnacho mixed up.
Oh no, it's 7. It's 7 because Nani got more than him last season. Yeah, his career high is 7 goals per season.
And then we have Tyreek George, who, like, good dude university, but, like, I don't know what that does for us right now.
Yeah.
The biggest credit I can give George is if you put him next to the other 4, you can't tell that he's any more than the, like, 3rd worst player in that group. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say he was. Like, I don't know who the worst one is. I just know he's not the best. But yeah, man, our attack is huge question marks. I don't know why people didn't have these.
I feel like
played one senior season of top level football in his career prior to moving here.
Well, Marshall, going into the season, you fully believed we challenged. You had no question marks on anything.
Yeah, no. The only thing I predicted was that, well, no question marks. Like, missing Levi Cole was going to be rough, but I didn't think we would look this shambolic and exposed in the beginning of the season with our defense. Because, like, even towards the end of the season, like, even Tosin was putting on some decent performances. Not great, but they were decent. Now they're just absolutely shit. But no one was. But I remember the summer. No one was saying that. Everyone was saying the reason we're not going to challenge because of our defense, because we need a center back. No one was saying the attack. So that's why when you guys said that, I kind of was like taken back. Because
after the Club World Cup, I assumed we would upgrade on our deficiencies, like make actual like top class signings in our deficiencies. And before the season started and I saw the way the window was going, I was thinking, all right, cool. We have deficiencies, but so do Arsenal, so do City, so do Liverpool. Could we stay in the race long enough until like February, March, April? We hang in long enough in the title race. But then a few games into the season, particularly that before we actually played Man United, I said if we lose to United, then this thing is done. Because I saw City had bought Donnarumma. Arsenal had improved their depth. And I think maybe at that point, Liverpool were like 5 unbeaten or something. And for us, I was like, yeah, we're done. What are we doing? We're not going to compete. So we're just going to be in this weird limbo. And now it kind of looks like Will we even be in limbo? Will this be another top 4 challenge? Again, we shouldn't be in a top 4 challenge. Worst case scenario, we should just be in a limbo of we finished 3rd, but we're not in a race of top 4. We're not in a race of a title. Just nothing.
Yeah.
We're not even in nothingness. So these sporting directors that got given these bumper new deals because we won the Club World Cup.
Because of Enzo Maresca.
What now? Because if we fail, Maresca will get punished, but not these sporting directors who got rewarded for Maresca's for Maresca winning the Club World Cup.
That's why I was saying before when Dave Follows walked into the you know the organization, I was saying I hope this is somewhat of a contingency plan that if this season we don't match our targets, the ownership do something about the directors and Dave Follows is like the next one up or something like that. I don't think it's going to happen now because we did have this discussion and I forget who said it, but like we did just give him new contracts. It wouldn't make sense to sack him the season after we just gave him a brand new contract. So who knows? We're probably stuck with him for a minute, but it's just, it's annoying that this is what's, I feel frustrated with the attack, like rightfully so. I mean, we were getting right now our top goal scorer, I think, is Neto, and Neto's performances haven't been super convincing. I'll give respect to the fact that he is getting goals and assists here and there, and from time to time he does help us out with creativity, but they're not to the level of what like Esteval is our best winger, you know? So I don't know, man. Like,
sure.
In terms,
Hold on, let me have a look at something because like I've said these stats on other streams. I just need to highlight to you how bad it is, by the way. I just want to make sure I've got this right. I have. Cool. By this point of the season last year, we're game week 15, aren't we now? We've just had game week 15, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. By this point last season, both Jadon Sancho and Noni Madueke had more goals and assists than both of our left wingers combined.
Is that in the league?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
in
in
the
the league.
Yeah, I believe it.
Oh, because I heard you say that's not on Lewis's channel. I thought you meant all comps. I was like,
No, it's in
conference
the
league.
league.
No.
Jadon Sancho, by this point last season, had 6 GNA in the league. Our left wingers combined have 5. At this point of the season last season, Noni Madueke, I want to say had 7, but I will double check that.
Well, he had a hat trick against Wolves, so
Yeah,
probably.
But
He had a hat trick against Wolves and he scored against Forest, so that's at least 4 goals.
Let me have
this
a look.
time last season.
Yeah, so he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he had 7.
But here's the thing I have.
Hang on. And I'm pretty sure is Neto. Hang on. Pedro. I think he's on.
Neto wasn't doing shit, I don't think.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think he had like 2
last
GNA
week.
last season by this point.
Didn't Joey at the start of last season? I think maybe it was Joey made a bet with someone that Nani would get 10 GA or something, and he was on like 6 or 7 by like.
I was about to say, Noni has had the same amount of GNA by this point last season that Neto currently does. Our top goal scorer. So,
but
like, our attack hasn't improved in any way, shape, or form because the guys that weren't good enough.
So that's where I strongly disagree with you, right? Because I get what you're saying, and to an extent, I agree. Because yes, it's not good enough at this point this season for us to look worse than what we did last season. Isn't good enough. However, that only paints one picture, one side of the picture. Because Scott, what was the GNA for the rest of the season for those guys?
That's cool. I'm talking about where we are right now.
I know. That's
right now,
fine and dandy. We could talk about where we are right now and how not good it is. But this is why, like, even last season, I had that belief.
We're going to bring up what do they do for the rest of the season. We'd also have to ask the question, what do we think our guys are going to do for the rest of the season?
And that's what I mean, Pete. Like, I don't know what to expect. Listen, I don't have high hopes for December right now. It's not looking good.
Okay, Marshall. Okay. As we speak right now, do you think that, let's just say Gittins gets more GNA than Sancho did in the league last season?
No. I don't even know what Sancho had, but no.
I think he does, Pete, because he's going to get more minutes. I feel like Sancho didn't get
I
enough
don't think
minutes last
that's
season.
true either.
Sancho
I
played
think-
2,047 minutes last season and got 11
Yep,
GNA.
that's like 22 full 90s, brother. Gittins is
And
never
And he
getting
got,
that.
he got 11 GNA.
Yeah,
So you're
that's
telling me
not-
between now and the
Gittins is
end of
not
the
getting
season,
either of those, brother.
so in the next what 23 games he needs to get 10 GNA to beat that.
Gittins is not getting those because he's not getting the minutes, and if Gittins is not getting
Sure.
the minutes, the assumption is Garnacho's getting the minutes, so he better beat that.
Oh no, but Pete, I think he will get the minutes because him and Garnacho are basically like nearly level on minutes played this season.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm
yeah.
going to check this.
Because like
Because,
the
like,
way I'm
in my
looking at it,
mind-
Scott.
In the league, I don't know after the Bournemouth game. The Bournemouth game might have skewed
Maybe
it for
because,
Garnacho.
maybe because
But
Gittins plays
before
all
the
the irrelevant
Bournemouth
games, so in my brain they don't count. But they probably
Before the Bournemouth game, I'm pretty sure they were close in the league, just in the league. But I don't know what it is now after the Bournemouth game.
So Gittins has 401 Premier League minutes.
I don't know what Garnacho has now. He had 400 and something. He was like just ahead, but I don't know what he's on now.
Garnacho is 496.
Okay, so yeah, the Bournemouth
Relatively
game did
close,
skew
yeah.
it. So literally, that 90 minutes against, but without that, he'd have played 5 more minutes.
Yeah,
Before the
they basically split these minutes almost down.
That's
the
what I'm saying.
middle.
And Garnacho's on 3 currently, so Garnacho needs to get 9 in the next 23 games to beat Sancho, who was our worst winger last season.
Garnacho has 2 goals and 2 assists in 742.
Oh, he's got
Was
4.
he our worst
Wait, he's
winger?
got 4. I thought he only had.
No. I'm counting his Champions League goal.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought he had 3. Cool.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about a worst
props.
winger.
He has 2
Let's-
goals and 2 assists in 742 minutes.
Let's take it one step further, by the way. Do you think they get more GNA than Noni? Oh my god, actually, never mind. That's a pointless argument. He got less than Sancho. Oh my god. Actually, he can't have got
Who
less
got
than
less than
Sancho. Oh,
Sancho?
no. Sorry. Sancho got 8, Noni got 11. So they probably beat Sancho. I don't think they beat Noni.
I don't know if they beat Sancho.
And that's a will for sure.
You don't
I
think
agree
they-
with that?
You don't think they get
The conversation was kind of left wingers.
Hold on, you don't think they get
Yeah,
6
that's true.
GNA between, like, one of them gets 6 GNA between now and the end of the season?
No, because Scott, I think what's going to happen is our starters are going to be Esteval and Neto.
Hey, Fez.
You know how he was playing both left footers last year with Madueke and Neto? I think that's what ends up happening here.
Mhm.
Like,
And-
we're
and
dying.
Scott-
We're dying at that position, man. We're getting nothing
Yeah.
from those guys.
And
Like, I don't
Scott,
know
it's
how
not
long
to
you
say like
continue to get-
I'm not trying to like say I disagree with you necessarily. I guess what I'm trying to say is that
It's
I
fine.
want to see how the season plays out, because if it's identical to last season, then you're 100% right. That those left wingers have no chance of matching the output that we had last season with the
Well, it's-
Madueke and so
the
on.
point is, whether they match it or not, like, isn't really the issue. The problem is you spent almost 100 mil to replace those guys
Yeah.
with 2 guys who not only are we not sure are better, we're decently convinced like might be worse than what we got from the guys
Yeah,
that
100%.
Yeah, and you've just taken a step back in terms of their development because they're further backwards in their development because they're younger. The second question I have, and I've asked this question before and I'll ask it again. I think I asked this like 3 or 4 games ago. I'll ask it again. Do you think either of our strikers outscores Jackson from his first season?
Oh, that's a
Oh
hard.
no.
João
No,
Pedro
no, no.
will. Do I think he'll get the minutes? Delap, hell no.
I don't think
I
João
don't-
Pedro will, by the way.
I
João
don't
Pedro is
think-
currently on track to match his goals and assists from last season, which was less than Jackson.
Honestly, my hot take from the summer about João Pedro might still stand. That I don't think he gets more than 10 goals this season, but he helps boost up the rest of the players.
He has
And even
4
that
goals
looks
right,
questionable.
4 goals and 3 assists right now.
Yeah,
I
which
hear
is
what you're
basically he had that at the same point last season.
Yeah. I
That's
know
true.
we've been without Palmer, which is a big factor, HA. I get that. But the thing is, like, if I recall last season correctly, our goal scoring form completely dried out by this time, January, or towards the end of January. and then we were relying more on our defense to keep us in games for the rest of the season. Like goals wise, we really dried up. So I'm hoping that's not the case this season.
I think João Pedro scored more than 20 goals last season.
No, he didn't.
Not true. There's
Are
no way.
are you talking all comps or in the league?
It doesn't matter. I have the numbers right up in front of me. It doesn't matter.
Oh, did he not score more
competition
than
were they
20
in
goals
last
in all
season?
comps?
20 goals?
In all comps?
He scored 13 in all comps. What are we talking about?
Shit.
He scored 10 in the Prem and 3 at the Club World Cup.
Yeah, I know he got 10 in the Prem because 5 of those were non-penalties.
What other comps are Brighton in?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Brighton were in conference. We were in Conference League, and Brighton were not in Europa for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
there's
like...
there's comps.
Yeah. So yeah, this is not true. There's no way he scored 20 goals, man. But yeah, like I agree with the issues with the attack. It does concern me, especially, I mean, I shouldn't be too concerned because Palmer's back, but also I don't know what Palmer I'm going to get.
By the way, this whole Palmer's back thing, by the way, like I would like to work out, and it's a genuine question, what people mean by this. Like, oh, what does this help? Because if you're talking from a pure numbers perspective, he got like no assists last season. So are we talking he's going to provide assists for these guys? Or are you talking he is going to take the pressure away from them and give them more space to potentially score? Because I'm just curious.
I hope it's either or, to be honest, because if people are thinking... Go ahead.
Again, I'm just basing it based on like a comparison, right? Between game week 16, so our next game week, to the end of the season in the league, Palmer got 3 assists.
Yeah.
João Pedro scored 5 goals in 2 FA Cup games 2 seasons ago. What the fuck? Who did he step at again?
I remember he did have a hat trick at some point.
Stoke City and Sheffield United. He got 5 goals in 2 games. That's lit.
Nice.
That's lit. Well, he did get 20 goals in all comps 2 seasons ago. 5 of them in the
2
FA
seasons
Cup.
ago.
Yeah, 5 of them in the FA Cup, 6 and 6 in the Europa League, and then 9 in the Prem. So he scored 9, 10. Season before, what did he bag? He's in the championship with Watford. My bad, he had 11.
But this is the thing with Palmer, right? Like, so I see both sides of this argument with Palmer coming back. Like,
it's funny.
Yes,
this comment.
Palmer coming back is going to change things, obviously, but it also depends on what version of Palmer I get. Like, if I get the first half of the season Palmer, then that's probably going to be good because he's going to get GNA himself, and it's going to help our attack, and it even might, do what Scott was alluding to with the latter thing he mentioned, which was, take defensive players out of the game a little bit more, attract attention to himself, and maybe give space to the other players to score and create. That's fine. The second half of the season, Palmer wasn't getting goals, and he was barely getting assists. But to be fair, the attack was really poor, and they were wasting his chances. So
I agree, but I'm glad you brought that up, Marshall.
I hope the attack is better and makes use of the chances.
No, okay, I'm glad you brought that last bit up, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The guys outside of João Pedro, who I believe is a better finisher than Jackson in terms of like more clinical.
Sure.
Putting the ball in the net, which I think is true.
He just doesn't shoot. The issue is he just doesn't shoot. When he does shoot, he is quite clinical. He doesn't shoot. Focusing on the wingers, this is more specifically on the wingers. Are the wingers we bought in Gittins and Garnacho, are they better finishers than Noni Madueke?
No.
You say Gittins and Garnacho?
No.
Yes, Gittins and Garnacho. One of those statistically isn't.
Actually, Gittins statistically probably is.
I was going to say Gittins is maybe. Garnacho
I
isn't.
think Garnacho and Nani are like on the same level.
Gittins statistically
No,
probably
he's not.
is.
No,
I have the João Pedro XG numbers up in front of me.
I was about to say, just before Pete goes on that, Garnacho in the team with, again, if we want to do this, one of the biggest chance creators in the league, Noni outscored him. His best goal scoring record is 7 in the Premier League. Noni beat that.
But also, they both missed multiple clear cut chances last season. They were both poor at finishing.
I agree with you. They're both not good. So what my point is even with Palmer having and supplying these guys with chances, Garnacho's still going to miss. Like, that's not going to do anything. The only maybe is Gittins, right? The only maybe is Gittins.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Garnacho's not a better finisher, not in any way, shape, or form. Gittins might be. And I stress might be, because we only saw that for half a season last year. And it was also in the Bundesliga, which is notorious for high lines and having more space and chances. So,
well, honestly, since we're on the topic of wingers, I might as well transition to this topic real quick.
And I think this goes back to the point of like, with what Pete said earlier. Whether you like ultimately think that these guys are going to end up outscoring Sancho and Noni and whatever, right? The fact we even have these conversations, the fact these are conversations to begin with, where you have to think and have a debate about it, shows you that these have been absolutely pointless signings.
Yep.
Like, if I was to ask you the question, Marshall, if we had Michael Elise in this team, does he outscore Noni Madueke?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Cool, there you go. That was immediately off the bat, didn't have to think.
I didn't have to think about
if
that.
We had...
If I have Antoine Semenyo, does he outscore...
I was about to think.
Yeah.
Does he outscore fucking, I don't know, Jadon Sancho? Yes.
Probably. Oh,
Does he
100%.
outscore Madueke? Yes.
Absolutely, in a heartbeat.
Outscores probably everybody. But I have João Pedro, if you're looking at XG, he's also one of those underperforms his XG, but it's consistently slight. Like, it's never a major problem. Granted, the website I have only takes data from top leagues. It doesn't do like championship and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Whereas
FPF?
Jackson's 2 seasons at Chelsea were 2 of the worst XG underperformances in Europe. Like, I think his first season, it was the worst. And then his second season, it was up there. Yeah, I think his first season might have only been eclipsed by Darwin Núñez, but we'll see. But
I just wanted to...
João Pedro's also underperforms, but it's not as drastic as Jackson.
Yeah. I also wanted to bring up this, since we're kind of on the topic of wingers. A few things on the winger situation at Chelsea. David Ornstein reporting here that Chelsea rebuffed an approach for Neto from one of Europeans' biggest sides towards the end of the last transfer window, which shows the regard in which he is held at Stamford Bridge and beyond. Maresca on comparisons between Estevao and Yamal. He is already playing at a high level. Starting for Brazil, he is young and can do many more things better. It's nice for people who love football to watch players like Estevao, Yamal, Pedri. We are happy Estevao is with us. Estevao is going to be an important player for the club in the future, no doubt. The most important thing is he has to enjoy football, be happy, and not think about being better than other players. He's going to be a top player. And on Kenda as well, the good news for Chelsea fans is more Estevaos are on their way. Giovanni Kenda, who some in Portugal say is the next Cristiano Ronaldo, is joining in summer of 2026 for a fee of £45 million.
I can't lie to you. The one about Pedro Neto is interesting, by the way, the tweet. I don't know how much validity there is ultimately going to be in that. The only reason I say that is because we keep hearing about how much these wingers are wanted in terms of like Neto, Estevao, obviously Garnacho and Gittins. One of them has to leave for
exactly
to be fit in. However, the only way that isn't true is if you move Estevao to the number 10, which I think would be a horrible idea, by the way. But that's the way you.
I don't know.
Good, but I don't know if he's ready.
I don't know if that even works longer term, because I feel like João Pedro's going to be your alternative number 10.
Oh, potentially, but then who leaves? Because all we keep hearing is these guys are held in high regard, they're loved, this, that, and the other, the usual PR bullshit.
In terms of wingers,
yeah, because obviously it's not going to be Estevao that's sold. I'm talking about the other three.
My guess is either Neto or Gittins.
Fez.
Wait, what about Tariq George?
That's not. Well, we're assuming he's gonna. We're assuming George Tosin. We're assuming George Tosin and Chalobah are gonna get sold for the pure profit.
Yeah, I mean, but the way I'm looking at it is that George is currently in the squad, so like.
No, but Marshall.
No.
Tit for tat.
We're talking
Marshall,
4 weeks.
are you going to have Garnacho as your 5th choice winger?
I mean, personally, me, I would, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So you've spent 40 million on a 5th choice winger.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
I mean, it
I was gonna
happens
say-
in football.
That's
You wouldn't
fantastic.
build a squad like that and then have a gaping hole as a backup 10 or at striker.
Mhm.
It doesn't make any sense.
I was gonna say you also wouldn't do that when you've got UEFA restrictions for like spending too much money on your squad. So then have your
Yeah.
your fifth choice wingers cost either 40 million or 45, depending on if it's Gittins. That makes no
Yeah.
financial sense.
I still hold to the theory that Garnacho could potentially be flipped.
To
That's
who?
fine.
What do you say?
Someone. I don't know who, but someone. Napoli
Why would
was
they do it
interested.
now on the form?
But-
Unless he picks up his form and decides he wants to leave, who the fuck is paying all that money for Garnacho?
That's fine. That also reinforces the idea of like that we've said before, Marshall, of like you can't wait with these guys. So when you're saying we need to be
Mhm.
patient with certain players, no, because
Certain
if they're going to
players,
leave after a year, they have to show me something now. Otherwise, their career is basically dead at Chelsea.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily true either, Scott. Because
No, it
again,
is.
it's. I think it's a little unfair because if we were to base it like that, then Cucurella should have been gone after the Grand Potter season.
no, but
I know it's different managers, but
I hate using the great. No,
but okay. Let me not use Cucurella then. Let me not use Cucurella. I got you. Enzo Fernandez last season.
But he also had 6 months of performing at a good level, and he
He
also
did-
spent.
Yeah, but he was shit up until this point.
Yeah, but he
Marshall,
didn't leave. He didn't
also
get
didn't.
sold.
There's also more nuance to this than just that. You bought him for £100 million.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So who are you flipping him to after a year and a
How are you
half?
going to return that investment? You're sunk with the cost until he picks up his form.
Yeah,
Mm.
like and I'll be honest, the wing. Excuse me, the winger situation. I genuinely believe any of our three wingers could leave. I think it's just a case of whichever's the worst performing winger come the summer window is gone.
You know what, Scott? I don't even feel that way. I just think who do we get the best bid for?
That too.
It
It's
might not
like-
even be like a
Two of these
profitable
guys
bid.
I don't think have any market. I could see
Mhm.
somebody coming in for Neto. I could see that offering us.
That's what
Like,
I say. I think if that's the
35
case, I think it would be Neto that gets sold. But we may
Yeah.
be in a position if things continue till the end of the season, where he's at worst our second best winger, which
yes.
would be stupid. You then sell him to
Would be
keep the other
insane.
bonus.
We would be in the same position next season where we have a position that's useless and cost us £90 million, and
Mhm,
then we have two guys that are fighting for minutes on the other side. I
mhm.
get it. It would be crazy. How did we get here? Why are we here? What can we do about it? Not much. I understand. I get what you're saying. It is a crazy situation to be in. We're getting nothing out of left wing as a concept. Like we don't even have a concept of a plan over there. We're getting nothing.
Yeah, which is really disappointing.
And
considering
especially
how
at
much you
Martin.
spent.
Do you know what makes this worse as well?
Talk to me.
Remember the conversation we had earlier about Enzo?
Yeah.
Like, for me, if you're going to get the best out of Enzo, you need to play a midfield three, which means Palmer needs to play on the right,
Hmm.
which means you have four wingers trying to fight for one position. Five wingers when Kenda comes in for one position.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's going to be rotation, but whoever that fifth winger is going to feel slighted for sure.
No, I'll be honest. The fifth winger should be that Kavuma McQueen dude from the academy. That should be your fifth choice winger. He
Yeah.
doesn't cost anything. He helps with the registration if you need to register him, which you don't really because he's 16. But
You
like,
can start him in
get-
Carabao Cup, the Odd Champions
Yeah.
League game, or the Dead
Exactly.
Rubber League at the end of
You
the season.
should-
Like
you should not be spending any money on
your
a
fifth.
fifth choice winger. Or what you could do, and again, this is kind of similar, but go and get Willian on a free as your fifth choice winger. I'm being serious, by the way. Like, go and get someone like a Willian, or like I think Kalu's still playing. Go and get someone on a free transfer who's old, who, like Peter said, can soak up a cup game minutes, a few minutes in a Champions League game, like 30 minutes or 20 minutes towards the end of a game.
Mhm.
Maybe start against the Paphos. That's all you need from your fifth choice winger. Like, I don't need to be spending any money on a fifth choice winger. So one
I
of these
mean,
dudes has to go.
The problem with that, though, Scott, is that if, let's just say, in an example, one of our wingers do get injured, which could happen, then you're relying on that fifth choice winger to play a lot more.
That's how it works, Marshall.
That's
I
how it works.
understand that, but like, are you going to
How it works.
rely on a Willian quality to take up like 10 to 15 games in the season, like starts?
That's
Maybe
not
not
a-
15, but
not
like
a
10
legitimate-
starts.
That fear isn't a legitimate reason to spend on the position, provided the actual need you would have for that position.
I was gonna say, Marshall,
It just seems like a drastic drop off in case you need to
Marshall,
rely
that's
on
a
that.
stupid argument.
Name a
Because then
single team
that argument,
who has a
that
good
argument
fifth.
should be made for every position on the pitch. So you're telling me
Mhm.
you should be spending 40 million on every position on the pitch in terms of for the backups, or like 30 million on every. That's ludicrous. That's dumb.
Not necessarily
That's-
that, but you
That's
could
how you end up in a position,
you could
Marshall. That's how you
graduate
end
a
up.
youngster
Name
or
another
get a
fifth winger.
cheaper young, like an
Name a
Esteval,
single
like
one.
not an Esteval, but like just
Name a single team that has a good fifth winger.
a single team that has a good fifth winger.
Yes.
All right, let's look through some of the teams. Like, let's look through Spurs. They have Tell. They have Simmons. I don't think Simmons counts as a winger, but he plays on the wing though.
Yeah, both of
Hasn't he
those
played on the wing sometime? Not this season, but he has played on the wing.
Count whoever you want. Really.
All right, Kudus. I mean, okay, so not Tottenham. Like off the top of my head, the one I can think of like immediately is like maybe Liverpool, because Chiesa is technically that for them.
Okay, Chiesa is their fifth winger.
Let's look at like them last season.
He's not.
It was
He is.
Gakpo, Diaz, Salah.
We're not looking at Diaz. He's not there anymore.
Well, I was looking at like their team last season, right? Because this season has just been an incredible drop for them.
Marshall, their fifth choice winger last season was Harvey Elliott, who's a number 10.
Wait, is their fifth choice winger this season Rio then?
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
Rio. I would
Do they
prefer a player
start-
like a Rio than.
Okay, Marshall. When we suggested a 16-year-old, you said no, but you've just said you like.
I didn't
Rio.
hear that part. I'm sorry. I was more against like a Willian or like a really like at the verge of retirement kind of.
No,
player.
the point was like roles like fifth winger or fifth choice center back, or like third choice goalkeeper,
Mhm.
or even in my opinion third choice striker in a team that plays one striker.
Yep.
Should just be cheap academy kids that have potential and are
Yeah,
able
it should.
to fill the gaps for a game.
I
here.
agree.
It should either be cheap academy players or like, as an example, like the third choice goalkeeper, an old
Mhm.
dude who could be good for the what's it called, the dressing room
Locker
and shit
room?
like that.
Yeah.
It's basically a goalkeeper coach, but still gets paid by Man United.
Mhm.
Like that kind of thing. Like I think Josh, the idea of Josh as a fifth choice is a good idea. We need him to be more because the guys in front of him are hopeless.
Yeah.
But like in the event that Colwell was fit, Josh would be my ideal sort of like fifth choice center back.
Mhm.
Right? Like
Yeah.
that is good. Mark Gue, as even though he did cost a little bit of money, as a third choice striker to me,
euros.
doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know whatever happened to the guy that went on loan in Turkey, Fofana.
He's still at the
David
club.
Dutcher Fofana. He's still at the club.
I don't know whatever happened to that dude. I don't know why he never got a run as third choice striker. To be honest, I'm not sure why that guy was just like, nah. But like, our third striker should be somebody like that.
Yeah,
I
which
don't-
is
I
why
don't disagree with
Marshall, like when I said about the Delap thing, if João Pedro ends up being the backup striker to Omega next season, or Omega's the backup striker to João Pedro, whichever it is, having Delap as third choice there's no point. Like at that point, just sell him. Like
Mhm.
he's not going to get minutes. You're not getting any real use out of him. You spent 30 million on him. Like he just needs to go at that point. So he needs to start performing now because Omega is coming.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting how this team gets built. It's probably very, very frustrating. I'll tell you that for free.
Hey man, they're just throwing shit at a wall and hope they get another Palmer or Caicedo.
That's,
You know, it's
yeah.
frustrating is like we're not far away.
No, we're not.
We're actually not far away, but because they won't add the like two,
Wow.
3 pieces we need.
They won't
To
do the
cross
things
the
that are
line.
kind of obvious.
We're
so we
we're
move
even
on.
we're even farther away than we actually should be because they won't do what's required. If they, bro, even in the summer, if they had just bought a top center back before Cole got injured, and then when
Mhm.
Cole was down, they didn't buy another center back. That's fine because at least you could say, all right, let the old head Let him play with Chalaba and
I'll
it
be right
could
back,
work
guys.
for a bit. Fofana, if he's fit, it'll work for a bit, and you're somewhat stable. You didn't do anything. You didn't get a top striker. You didn't get a top winger. You didn't get a top center back.
You didn't get top anything.
You didn't get anything. You just bought. You spent a lot of money on these young potential players. But the thing is, like, even like you bought Gittins and Garnacho, and I don't like Garnacho at all. However, if you had bought me a top left winger and Garnacho, I won't complain too much, because at least with Garnacho, I know you just bought him to flip him. But you bought him to flip him, and you also have a young left winger as well. That doesn't help. And then you have two young strikers who both haven't outscored our last striker that also wasn't good enough at Chelsea. Like, what are we doing? We're just relying on Maresca to try and pull something out of the bag.
We're paying top shelf prices for mid shelf product. It's a bad business model.
Yeah.
And like, we're trying to hope Maresca pull something out of the bag again. But that run-in we had last season to end the season, up until we beat when did we start to believe that we'd actually get it? When we beat
when we
Man
scored against Forest. That was when I believed.
Yeah. Or the final day. So,
0-0 halftime against Forest in the last game. I was convinced we weren't going to make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like, okay, that's you. But for some people, started to believe once we beat Liverpool and United, that's when I started to be like, yeah, we can actually do it.
Oh man!
But that was still a few games to go.
What is this comment, bro?
Do we need Maresca to pull another miracle? What if Maresca can't do a miracle this season? What then? Is it his fault? And then we sack him, and then they get a manager that's the same level as all these potential young players that we have. They get an inconsistent.
I'm actually really happy you brought that up, Prime, because I want to talk about that. Really quickly though, Hugh, what comments am I blocking? I'm not blocking any comments. I just can't read every single fucking comment because then I would derail the show.
I'm blocking your comments, you, and I'll block you. So shut up. Anyways,
Sure.
I'm not. I was joking. I'm not blocking his comments, but if you keep talking, I might.
Right, yeah.
Like, the thing is, I have problems in certain things with Maresca, right? But I also know where we actually won't get better unless it's Liam Rosenier, who I do rate. But we've also seen managers do well at lesser clubs or lesser teams, and they move too early and they can't handle the pressure.
Look at Graham Potter. He's like the prime example, and his fall off needs to be studied.
Everyone was talking about how Potter is the future England manager and he's so amazing. But this is what Liam Rosenier, if he comes to Chelsea in the summer, what's a guarantee that it's going to work straight away? It might take him some time because he's also young. And people are going to start getting on his back. And because he's,
do you know what I find jokes, by the way? Sorry.
Yeah?
Do you know what I find jokes, by the way? And I'm not trying to compare Maresca to this level of manager, right, or to this manager, because I think the manager I'm about to mention is better. But that comment from Hat of like, find a manager who attacks better, do you know what that really reminds me of? Of when we had Tuchel and we were dealing with Mount, Havertz, and Werner, and Pulisic, and Hudson-Odoi, who didn't score.
That our fans are going to do.
And it's like, when we had these bunch of shit players that weren't scoring and weren't doing anything in games, and people going, we could get a manager that needs to attack better, and it will bring the best out of these players. And in the words of Jose Mourinho, see how they play, where they play, if they play. Havertz is doing dick all at Arsenal, doesn't score, doesn't do anything. Mount has scored 2 goals all season, maybe 3.
He scored 4 goals in his Man United career, I think.
I say last season he had 1, I want to say, or 2. Pulisic, fair enough, he's gone to Syria. Hudson-Odoi has performed better, but numbers-wise,
still not the levels needed for the club.
Ziyech is currently playing in Morocco, I believe.
For Wydad Casablanca, man, hell yeah.
Yep. So when I'm hearing, we need, a manager to get more out of these attackers, these attackers that have done nothing are nothing and will never be nothing. Like, why don't we just get?
But Scott, what you don't forget is Tuchel. But Scott, you forget Tuchel held back that attack. Remember?
But here's the thing, Prime. Honestly, genuinely, I mean this. I am really happy you brought this up because I did want to talk about this today. And I saw this, and it really, really painted a picture of the fan base that it does frustrate me that we have fans like this. And to an extent, every fan base has them, but I feel like maybe because I'm within the fan base, it seems more prominent that it's Chelsea fans that do it. It seems that we have a fan base that is more than happy to be fans of Chelsea when things are going right. But the moment we even have a 2 drop points, it's Maresca out. It's Maresca out. Let's not pretend
we've done this 3 times this season as a fan base.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and it shows absolutely zero composure and maturity from so many people who are fans of Chelsea.
We've done this 3 times now.
And I'm not trying to single out HA, by the way. HA, big up to you. You're always watching. You're not the only one that does this. And to be fair, you're on the very, very lightweight spectrum of fans that do that. It's just, for me, let's not pretend that these are the same exact fans that wanted Tuchel gone in the beginning of that season where he did get sacked. People were saying Tuchel out, genuinely meant it.
10 points in 6 games, and we wanted to fire the coach. We got 34 in our next 32, you fucking bastards.
It just baffles me because it takes, that's the point of being a fan, people, through thick and thin. Like, we have our criticism, and we've lambasted Chelsea, some of us on the panel more than others, about how things are being run. You mean Scott every week essentially being disappointed with the attack and disappointed with recruitment and stuff, but regardless, he still isn't dumb enough to say Maresca out because he recognizes the problem isn't Maresca. The fact that Maresca's gotten us to where we are right now, the fact that Maresca still has us in European spots, right, even though we're in 5th right now, the fact that Maresca won a Club World Cup, the fact that Maresca...
At the end of the year, guys, you might have to cope with 5th place, I'm sorry.
You know what's hilarious? Someone said it in a tweet, I think this is great. Maresca got us UCL, and our directors gave him Gittins, Garnacho, and Delap.
And they told him they said just coach LOL when he asked for a center back.
Bro, Marshall, you know what they gave him? What they gave him? Maresca won the Conference League, and they gave him a Conference League front line.
Yeah,
that is a Conference League front. That's a front line we should have played last season in the Conference League. The Lap, Garnacho, and Gittins, and Brennan Notte in the 10. That is a Conference League front 3, and they gave him that after.
HA, it is so early in the season.
Hey, man.
That's the thing.
Crying about the table in match week 15 is not something I would do.
That is, bro. That's like saying, right? That comment right there, because 2 games ago we were We were second at 6 points off Arsenal, just about to play them, and if we had beaten them, we'd be 3 points. So that's like me. That's like also saying, guys, if we beat Arsenal, we're in this title race, so we're winning the league. Like, no. That wasn't true, nor is this true of United are bad like them. No,
I think some people lack comprehension as well. And I'll make this clear because I don't think people maybe understand this. Actually, I'll just speak for myself on this. I won't speak for everyone else. I am not for a minute sat here saying that Maresca is not doing dumb shit, that he has not got to improve on certain things, and hasn't got to fix up. Because that's just not true. He is doing a lot of dumb shit. But he is not the biggest issue with this football club right now. Just simply isn't.
No, he's not.
The biggest issue with this football club continues to be the 2 people we have upstairs.
If our manager was our biggest issue, our problems would either be really, 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 really terrible or not that bad. It's just, it would be look, do I like that Maresca trusts Tosin instead of Josh? No. Do I like that Maresca seems to be allergic to just starting Neto and Esteval and is really reticent to give up on our left wingers because I really think they're going to give us nothing? Do I like that? No. what are other things I don't like? Do I like him seemingly overplaying Cucurella and not trusting Hato at all?
Mm-hmm.
No, just because over the course of the season, Cucurella is not going to hold up for 60 games. Like, he's going to need a break. Do I like Gusto in midfield? Not really, but I understand our contingency plans are sick notes and are just unreliable. Like, do I like our striker options as a combo? No, not at all. I have things I'm unhappy with. I have things I'd probably do different if I was the coach. But just to be crashing out at this point in a season, bearing in mind we're in 4 competitions, and like last season we had the Conference League where we just didn't have to take it serious. Like, you could see the players weren't motivated and didn't have to extend themselves really at all until the final when we were down 1-0 at halftime. But nah, man, like, there is no Conference League to just catch your breath during the week, build momentum, score some goals, build confidence. Like,
it's a harder
they're
season
trying to navigate actual competitions and are trying to win the cup competitions.
And
Also,
that's the thing too. Like, before you go, Scott, like, let's not pretend that every manager, like, even Man City fans have issues with Pep and how he goes about doing things sometimes. Like, let's not pretend that just because you have an issue with Maresca and how he plays Tosin and stuff like that, that he's the only manager that does that. Frank Lampard, he refused to play Jorginho. He multiple times said that the squad wasn't ready to compete for UCL and all that stuff. Would play Chilwell and Reece James when they were just about to get hurt against that Arsenal side, when they were playing through injury. Like, the amount of mistakes that Lampard made. We move on to Tuchel. How much I bitched and moaned about how Tuchel doesn't want to give Billy Gilmore a chance. Kept playing Callum Hudson-Odoi at right wing back. We saw Ruben Loftus-Cheek at right wing back at some point, people. Even though it worked, we saw that. Like, it's like every manager has their complaints. Like, there's always going to be complaints about certain players getting played over others, not giving chances to other players. Like, this isn't new. And the fact that, like, these guys are ready to say Maresca out at the first sign of adversity. Brother, I gave Pochettino up until that first Manchester United game. That was until, what, December or January? I think that was January, where we finally faced United, where I finally said, I'm fucking done with Pochettino. And there were so many issues with that. The football... It was November. The football, the amount, the way we looked in the defense was absolutely horrendous. We looked like we had no style of play. Players were getting injured left, right, and center. I had so many more complaints about Pochettino earlier in the season than I do. That's in 3 seasons into Pochettino than I do with Maresca. Now a season and three months into it now.
I have a question for Ha. He said that the manager is the quickest fix and we need to get rid of him. Cool. I have 2 questions. Number 1 is, who do we replace him with? That's first.
Everyone's going to tell you Fabregas.
I just want to know, who do we replace him with? Is the first question I have.
Yeah.
The second question I have is, when these attackers still aren't performing under said manager, whoever that is, what do we do then?
The thing is, Scott, if it's
Oh, get out of here, Tier. Bro, this isn't an echo chamber either, by the way, Tier. I'm sorry, Prime. Just to let you know, this is not an echo chamber. I allow Prime and Scott because they can have their own thoughts.
I agree with it, actually. I'm not in there.
You guys are kicked out of the
all right,
the
Peter.
next stream.
Peter, you know what's crazy? At least Scott, at least Scott goes to the games in the stadium, mate. You're
man, that's cool. You pulled the match door gimmick on me from halfway across.
He doesn't like you. He doesn't like you either, bro. You're American. You're the reason we're in this mess. You clearly.
Hey, I got right over the chat, man. Let's go.
Listen, Peter Bowley, don't do this, okay?
Hey, man, I'm not the one in the message. Don't talk to me. I'm just saying I co-sign it.
Hilarious. Smash up the like, people, please. Go ahead, Prime.
Because of
Prime's
other managers,
you're not proper Chelsea, though, unironically. Big up, man.
Yeah, that's what they say to me, though. I'm not proper Chelsea. If I'm not proper Chelsea,
I'll be there in January when we draw 0-0 against Brentford.
Oh, wow. What game? Well done. One game.
I'll be there against Paphos, too, you bitch.
Pathos. Yeah, that's...
Hey, real talk, though. Pull up. It'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be there too.
Why are you saying one goal from strikers
Yeah,
all season?
maybe.
Pedro literally scores.
But
You
again,
might be
again,
referring to
Uh,
that.
so when
we're not
Next
gonna beat Pathos, but that's a mouse. The thing is with these managers, right, is that if it's a manager
Big
that
one for
everyone
one.
likes, people will accept the bullshit. We went into the Bernabeu with Ruben at right wing back. No one complained because we understood
Hey, bro.
with the
It
injury
was needs
going
must.
on.
I get it.
We all understood. No, but we understood the context, right? So people weren't
Yeah.
complaining about why it happened. Understood why. Pulisic, Ziyech, Callum, they all played wing back at some point in.
This isn't one goal from when João
21-22.
Pedro played as a striker. This isn't true, guys.
We
João Pedro
accepted
played
that.
Well, Prime, hold on,
UI.
hold on. Prime, hold on. I'm going to
Yeah?
interrupt you. João Pedro played as a striker when we played Tottenham, and he scored. When Pedro Neto was the 9 against Wolves, we scored on a counterattack. João Pedro was the 9 at West Ham when Palmer went out with injury and Esteval was our 10, right? We all remember. João Pedro was our 9 that day as well.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay, I lied. Oh,
The lap was up front.
No, the lap was the
Yeah,
9.
the
The
lap
lap
was-
was the 9. João Pedro.
All right, just kidding.
Delap was the
Let me think of games where other 9s have scored. Oh, Delap doesn't score.
Yeah, he scored against Barcelona.
That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's I'm gonna be honest, man. That's 11v10, man. Big up, cool charity goal. Let's see. What other games did
But
João
yeah,
Pedro?
while Peter goes and
score
finds
goals?
that,
Why am I not remembering them?
bro, when Tuchel was doing stuff, we accepted it because we understood why he had to make certain weird things to the lineup because of the injuries and what was going on. Why can't people also see that certain things that Maresca does, he does it because sometimes he just doesn't have other option, or sometimes he just has to rotate. Like
Because
I
people-
don't the playing the Tossin thing is
People don't
like playing the
accept the
Tossin thing is dumb. He shouldn't still be playing Tossin.
People don't
Obviously, I
accept
agree
the
with
premise
that.
of rotation,
That's
and
annoying.
People don't
But
want to accept the reality.
Fofana cannot play. Fofana just cannot play every game.
This is the thing.
But the
Like,
thing is,
you see this message,
this-
Brian. You see this message here. You see this message.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to over rotate. People don't want to accept the premise of rotation in football and don't want to take into account this team played a summer tournament and had 2 weeks of preseason prior to launching another season. People don't want to accept these things as reasons for why the team probably needs to be rotated.
Yeah, like I'm sorry,
but here's
like,
the thing, right?
and Prime,
No, but
before you
here's
go,
the-
I'm sorry.
Can I finish?
Like, I'm just saying, people, and I get it because it comes from like how we grew up. It used to be, you had a starting 11 and that's it. Like, that's it, right? The best starting 11, and that's the team you play game in, game out. Very seldomly will you see like a fully rotated squad. Like I remember seeing Chelsea Carling Cup games where I saw Hilario finally play and Paulo Ferreira and all that stuff, fully rotated, right? But it's a different game now. You can't just have a starting 11. Everyone rotates. Man City rotate. Arsenal rotate. Like, no one had issues with Man City's rotate. Well, obviously we're not Man City fans, but no one had issues with Man City's rotation. Like, Pep Roulette is literally a term that people use. The amount of rotation that he does, but how many back-to-back Premier Leagues did he win? He rotates all the time. He was rotating before he was fucking popular.
That's also because they have players of a certain level. But the thing is,
Yeah, exactly.
people that want to complain about our rotations, that's fine. Do you remember the first?
There's
half
just so
of the
many more
season
games now.
I was about to say,
Do you remember? Hold on, Scott. Do
I
you
was
guys
about to say,
remember
finish
the
it.
first half of last season when Maresca would rotate a lot, mainly because of the Conference League? But remember, he rotated for the Carabao Cup against Newcastle.
Mhm.
Remember the big rotation he made with the players that we played in that game, and we lost, and everyone complained. And remember in the league phase of the Conference League when we would play the likes of Nkunku and Felix and whatever, and
100%.
we wouldn't play well, but we would still blitz teams because we're just better than them.
No one.
The second half of the season, Maresca wasn't rotating as much. He was overusing Caicedo as much as he could, overusing Enzo. Times Cucurella played in midfield in the Conference League. James playing as much as he possibly could with James, even though he was still on the minutes thing because of the injury. Maresca started just overusing these guys. Palmer came back from injury and was still being overplayed because he knew he couldn't rotate because the rotated guys were ass. But the thing is, I think it might get to this point in the second half of the season. Maresca might see that, listen, these guys are ass. You guys keep saying they're ass. Cool, we won't play them. Now Caicedo and Cucurella will play 60 games again. And you guys will complain that getting burnt out. But we can't rotate, right? Because the guys who are rotated, we end up losing. You guys just complain without looking at what's actually going on.
Also, like, I just need to address this like rotation thing. So we just came off playing Arsenal. What was it? 4 days ago? 3 days before the Leeds game.
It was Sunday and Wednesday. So yeah.
Cool. So 3 days before. So what you want us to do is play our best team against Arsenal, to then play our best team against Leeds, to then play our best team against Bournemouth. Or what game are you rotating for then? Because you have to rotate in at least one of those, or probably 2 of those games. What game are you rotating for?
Like when you say over rotate, who shouldn't have been swapped out?
I worked it out as well. We rotated 5 players between Arsenal and Leeds.
Yeah, like the Leeds game, Caicedo couldn't play red card. Reece had played like 3 games in a row, and he played 60 minutes down to 10 minutes. So Reece deserved a break.
We had to rotate 3 players minimum.
Like Gusto, maybe you could argue he still could have started, but I understood him being rested. That's fine. Like, the only bad quote-unquote rotation, in my personal opinion, is Tosin playing. Should have played Achington. That's it. If you just play Achington instead of Tosin, no one's going to complain about the rotation. Because that works, because we don't lose that game. Because Tosin was responsible for 2 goals. Literally responsible for 2 goals.
Can you bring up, do me a favor, Marshall, bring up HA's point, literally last comment. How'd that work out against Bournemouth?
I listened to us. What have I missed, Marshall, in terms of left?
How did that work out? How did that work out when we tried to do that against Bournemouth and we weren't winning?
Don't forget chat. Maresca Out, man. There we go. What do you mean? Are you serious?
Yeah, we're talking about Maresca Outers.
You know, okay. I'm gonna be in a
the serious Maresca Outers, not the troll ones.
Not the troll ones. Yeah, I understand that. I think with Maresca, the problem that you're always gonna have.
HA, did we beat Bournemouth? Did we beat Bournemouth?
But the thing is, before Ahmed even goes, but this is the thing, like, before Ahmed goes, like, Fofana and Reece, right? Those are like the biggest ones that we're always going to rotate, and people don't want to like do that. I'm sorry. If rotating Reece means he's available for the rest of the season versus the alternative, which is cool, I can have him until December and January to maybe give me like good results, and then I don't have him for the rest of the season, I'm taking the first option. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so listen, when it comes to the Maresca situation in itself, I'm gonna give the take, yeah, which is
you're a fucking idiot, like, respectfully.
Listen,
like,
all right,
fucking idiot, man.
I think for me with Maresca, it's more likely he gets sacked because he doesn't reach a target rather than he gets sacked because of like a run of results.
Also, can we also put this out there?
Those meaningfully aren't different things.
I don't know I think they kind of are, in the sense that what I mean, like, I don't think Maresca is ever gonna go through like a really, really like bad run of form. Like, even like last year, for example, in the
last season was pretty bad. But
like,
yeah.
the thing with like the December January period, there was some wins, but there was also
we had
like
2 wins in 12 league games at one point last year.
Yeah,
but we had a ton of draws in those games too. That's the thing, right? Because it wasn't like we were consistently losing. I'm talking about who's a good example to use, right? If you want for like a Potter situation, of course he's gonna get sacked, for example, right? That's undeniable. So that the number of losses.
No, you're saying, so by saying he doesn't meet an objective rather than a poor run of results, are you just saying he gets sacked in the summer instead of mid-season?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, sure. Yeah, and I would agree.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But also, let's not pretend that like we have Reddit here, and Ahmed, you were here for the show. Like the ownership, the directors want him to rotate as well.
the thing for me about the rotation argument, I can understand what HA means in the sense that listen, a lot of the top
Too
teams,
much rotation and the wrong
a lot of the
rotation.
a lot of the
I
top
wish
teams,
we
for
had more
example,
rotation, but guys were fit to rotate properly.
yeah.
That's
Like,
my
but the
wish.
problem is when you want to rotate, you need to make sure the guys that are coming in, that are rotating for you are of the quality, right? Like you're not losing too much quality in the rotation. The problem with Chelsea right now is that when we rotate, bro, there's a drop off in the level of quality that you're bringing in right now. And part of that is obviously because some of these guys are inexperienced, which is naturally true. And there's part of it, it's because some of these guys are the shit.
Exactly,
Bro,
that's the issue. Guys are
That's the
shit.
issue. That is legit the main issue, bro. Right? It's not even like if it was early in the season, the argument, for example, of like what's it called, like match sharpness, I would have even here, right? But I feel like for me in this period of time, it's just like the guys that we have a shit. Let's keep it real, boys. Mark Gui is my guy. You guys know I like Mark Gui, but Mark Gui coming on, is not great. He's not got experience. He's not quality enough. He had one league game before he came to Chelsea. He played in one Barca league game, by the way. Again, body issue, completely injury prone, has completely dropped off in form. Why is he here? The Sarsi is losing against the PSG under 21s. Okay, who's the other guy? Tosin Adarabioyo. I don't even know what to say about him at this point. But wait. Can you bring up Tyler's comment? I'm sorry
we
to
don't
tell you.
need to. We can suck his mum. No, we don't need to.
No, sorry. I'm just gonna say one thing quickly about him. Big man, I don't know what you want me to tell you. We can't keep the points keep coming up because fundamentally, bro, it's the same repetition. What else can we say? I think a major problem I have here in this day and age is the reason why we repeat points is because that's what's happening right now, bro. What do you want us to do? Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like, you know, I'll give you a good example, yeah? Let's say I'm reading, like, my favorite manga book, yeah? There's an ongoing plot, yeah? If the next chapter's coming out, if the next... Fuck you, Peter. Listen, it's easy. Okay, whatever. Listen, TV... You can insert TV show, whatever you
This
call
is
it.
why we have random haters in the chat, dude. Fuck.
Okay, fuck you, Peter.
Like, Ahmed, I don't even mean, but like, your analogy was taking too long, brother.
All right, either way, listen. End of the day, the point I'm trying to make is, if things come up again, bro, we have to speak about them. I just think, and if the same thing keeps happening, at some point, bro, yes, we might not want to speak about it, but it's just the only thing we can talk about. Does that make sense? That's what it just comes down to for me. Because me and Marshall Scott, we're literally talking about this last year, probably. We probably talked about this 2 years ago. Watch, you know what I mean?
I agree in terms of like outside, but like I've said, outside the Tosin thing with the rotation, like that was just a stupid play to make.
And he came out and said he regretted it too. By the way, he said he should have played Acheampong.
But my thing is like, he's full of shit when it comes to Acheampong. But what's it called? The issue is what you said. Like, these guys have to play in terms of like the left wingers or some of these centre backs. Like, the fact that they're not performing is just because they're shit. Like, Gittins and Garnacho are both crap. Like, let's be real. So it doesn't matter which one plays, they're both crap. So if they're both crap, why does it matter, you know? Or are you just going to play like both the same wingers every game until
the thing is,
I'm
going to have to disagree with you slightly.
Or the hamstring fall off.
I'm going to have to slightly disagree with you on Gittins, yeah? The only reason why I say that is that I think there is something there with Gittins. The thing is, bro, is I hate to say it like this, but I don't feel Chelsea's the place to bring young guys to develop. It's never been that club, bro. And like
that still doesn't really change the point because like he's not good enough right now, then, and he's not in good form at the very least. So it's like if he's not in good form, it doesn't matter whether he plays against Leeds, Barcelona, Cardiff, whatever, right? He's just in bad form. And yeah, I think it's these. Like I said, these guys are just not good. And the thing is when he does rotate in certain areas because these guys have to play, like Atto said earlier, half the games he's played in, he's been crap. But he has to play because he's our backup left back. You can't just not play in the whole season and play Cucurella for 90 minutes every single game, because the inevitable happens if Cucurella does something like Palmer's had this season, and we're left with watching João Pedro in the 10 every game. When not
back if Cucurella gets hurt, I'm ready. Whop with me, chat.
Because again, I've said this before, but these people complaining about rotation will be the same guys like moaning if some of these starters get injured. Like if Reece gets injured again, it'll be Maresca, like he injured him, he didn't rotate him enough.
Yep. And it wasn't that long ago, the same guys that are criticizing, Reece James in the midfield were also praising and saying, he's better than Rice 2 days ago, or 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, I should say. 2 games ago is what I meant to say. So it's just like, for me, the biggest thing with all of this is like, I just kind of hate where fandom has kind of gone in football nowadays, where as soon as you have a few bad results, that's it. This guy's got to go. He's got to get sacked. It's like, bro, part of being a fan is through thick and thin. Like, listen, I don't want it to happen, but there are Arsenal fans out there right now that if they win the league, I guarantee you they're going to be on their knees on the ground in tears because they have gone through the darkest of darkest times with their club now to finally see it. To an extent, look at Nottingham Forest, how happy their fans were last season with the season they had to be back in like European football. Like,
I don't think
it's
pitching fans on emotionally buying into struggle is a good way to.
But it's just like it's what makes the game. It's what makes the fandom a fandom.
Yeah,
you know?
Marshall, that's fine. Marshall, that's fine. But at the end of the day, like all we should be doing as fans is holding this ownership group to the promises they made when they took over.
100. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
So like doing this whole stick by your team. They're doing the best they can. It's part of being a fan. Yes, all of that is true. But these motherfuckers had the nerve to talk big shit, say we weren't very well run from a sporting or financial side, whatever bullshit Egbali said when they took over 3 years ago. But now we spend close to £2 billion, and we don't have a discernibly better team than we did in Tuchel's final full season. That's the problem. Yeah. That's why fans are frustrated. So be frustrated as much as you want. Yeah. Like, be mad. I just think everybody pointing their knives at the manager because we're used to that isn't a good way to handle this issue. Like, we don't do collective, Marshall, we don't do collective struggle at Chelsea. We've never done that as a fan base in the last 25 years. That's not our bag. So asking for that buy-in, especially from this ownership group and this team, which really haven't earned that right from us.
100%.
Like, World Cup and think we're going to blindly support them and like love all of them. Like, nah, man. I don't know. It's just, be frustrated, be mad, but you got to look at the whole thing and just stop trying to boil down the problems to the manager. I wish it was just change the manager. I just don't think it is, man.
I think that's the big issue I have with it too, because it's not just the manager's fault. But even in HA's example here, like, I agree with you. Arteta probably should have been sacked multiple times, but that's because Arteta finished 8th and then he finished 5th, right?
That he should have been sacked.
I don't think he was good enough at the time. Like, to replace Emery, right? Like, I don't think he was doing the job. But they waited and it paid off.
You guys are ignoring how different clubs and their fan bases treat managerial appointments.
Exactly.
But my point being is that, like, Maresca accomplished what he needed to accomplish last season. He deserves the time to prove that he can do better now.
It's not even an apples to apples thing, though, Marshall.
Yeah.
It's not, but it's just
it's not. Like, one, there were no fans in the ground for most of the period of time where they fucking sucked.
Oh yeah, true.
There were no fans. Like, yes, his first full season, they finished 8th. There really weren't fans. By the time fans were back in the ground, they were on the doorsteps of Champions League. Also, it's Arsenal Football Club. They don't have that history of chopping and changing and experiencing success in that way. So to say, he should have been sacked on the standards at Chelsea, he probably would have been, but he wasn't employed by Chelsea. So it's useless to grade him on the curve that we would use for our coaches.
I think for me,
don't ignore the grace that he was given by fans not being there. Yeah. Because I think if there were fans in the ground and there was no COVID and the results were the same, he would have been sacked.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. That makes sense.
I think for me, listen, I think the problem, at least with Chelsea, I've said this on this channel multiple times, is that we lived through a period of time.
We had twice.
you know, where we had like a bougie manager, bro. You know what I mean? So we had an owner that was willing to give everything for the club. But rightly or wrongly, if you disagree with how the things ended for him, he gave everything to the club, bro, financially speaking, bro. He was willing to give his own money to the club. And as such, we were able to win a lot. And a lot of the times, because of the amount of quality we had in the squad, it was always the manager's fault, essentially. Even though there were times, obviously, it wasn't the manager's fault, of course, I understand that context. The thing is, though, when you now shift to this new model that this club is trying to do, it was always going to be rough. But in order for that process to occur, where you change from one thing to another, it needed to improve. And the problem is, it's not necessarily improved to the level that I think a lot of fans are expecting. And what even the ownership, I think it's fair to say, is expecting. And the thing is, they themselves, at the end of the day, are not helping themselves out by some of the decisions they make. They make at the end of the day as well. But that's just me.
Yeah. I think that was a good discussion, guys. I think we had a really good show. Big up to everyone in the chat. Especially what?
Not everyone.
Okay. For me, big up everyone in the chat.
Hobbies, man. That's crazy.
But hey, listen. The reason, what makes Casually FC unique is that this isn't an echo chamber, and I appreciate that, because I would probably be Chelsea's version of Ty if this was an echo chamber. I need people to humble me. So, if it's not myself. But big up to every single one of you. You guys have been fantastic. Big up to the panel. Be sure to smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. Be sure to also subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Also, hype up the video. If you got some hype points to use up, help out the channel by hyping up the video. Gets us up in the ranks with the hype hashtag, whatever word it is. Check out the links in the description for more content and all that fun stuff. If you guys, actually, hold on. Who am I rating out? I'm rating out to Sarcasm City. So here's the raid message. Just be ready to copy and paste that over to his chat. And speaking of memberships, big up to our proper casual and higher tiered members. At the end of every show, we give them a shout out, and that's going to go out to hold on, let me adjust this. Boom, boom, boom. That's going to go out to Anrav, John 3504, Gabriel Mejia, Ish 462, Hater Wakas, JC, Dark, Lanri Sadiq, A Soliman, EE, and Adrian. Big up to you guys for your support in every show and in the memberships. Big up to everyone else who's also a member as well. Hopefully you guys are enjoying those emojis. More to come, more perks to come, all this fun stuff. So yeah, by all means, guys, thank you. We'll be back again Tuesday to react to the Atalanta game. I'll be on American Waffle tomorrow on Staffy TV. More on American Waffle in the future as well. I got some news to update people on. And yeah, be sure to check out the other content on the channel. Enjoy, and we'll be back to talk more Chelsea and all that fun stuff later this week. Copy paste the raid message. Let Sarcasm City know where you're coming from. Until then, have a wonderful night. Stay casual and peace out.